Ascent and Iceberg's being... Yo, so the
It's
two
three
maps...
new maps.
Yeah,
It's
the
three
two
new
maps that got banned that Koi played at lock-in. So they
Yes.
have to play
Yes.
all 3 new maps, completely maybe catching NAVI off the guard as well, because something that NAVI always had is the element of surprise. This is why they're ever-changing so much when it comes to compositions in the maps that they play. And now Koi has
three new
advantage
maps.
by
It's
the
three
two
new
maps
maps.
that got banned.
I am loving what I'm seeing. I really hope that we get to that split. Regarding that Ascent, that first map, we're talking about, this is the map that got banned against Koi. But if we take a look at Guild, you know, the 16 core there on Koi, Ascent is what they banned through the entirety of LCQ. I know it comes far, but you know, in the preparation of NAVI, they might take this into consideration. Okay, what can we pull against them? And honestly, they have seen it. If I'm on the other side and I have to go against CNET, please, anything but Ascent.
Well, and also Ascent was being played twice by NAVI during Noken, so there are some tapes. I mean, not many, right? But they also played twice the same composition. That was Cypher, Fate, Jet, KO, Omen. So they will know what was being used if the composition will be the same. I don't expect like revolutionary Cypher setups or something, so that gives a slight edge for Koi here.
What I will say is they beat Leviathan. They didn't just beat like any team on Ascent at locking. They beat the best, one of the best Ascent teams in the world. So I feel like Koi uphill battle maybe right off the bat.
But anything was going to be an uphill battle for them because of the time, because of what happened at lock-in, because starting off, even on week 1, it looks like we don't give them a break. It's like you have to go against Energy, and then when you come back, day 1, you have to go against NAVI.
There's also a big duel between the Jet players here in this match. Wolfen versus CNET, specifically on Ascent, as you mentioned before, it's going to be a tough battle.
Well, this is it. The maps are locked. The teams are ready. It's time to kick off VCT EMEA.
Koi.
Yeah, wanna be a top boy, keep the movement flowing, don't stop, boy. Wanna drive a new car straight out of the lot, boy. Keep your mind focused on the plot, boy. Yeah, wanna be a top boy, keep the movement flowing, don't stop, boy. Wanna drive a new car straight out.
NAVI.
These are the first 2 teams to ever step foot inside the pit. We've seen them play before, but they've never actually faced each other. And what better way it would be for them to start their season here with a win.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely not under these banners, and definitely not as Koi as a full team. In fact, the last time, I'm going to take Guild as a reference because it's the biggest that we can get to. And the last time that they played, it was favorable to FPX. I think that they have a lot to win in their place, and they should be feeling very comfortable about getting this first pick. On the side of Koi, everything's going to be a question that is about to be answered when it comes to Agent Select.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just watching. This is so cool. 3 years in the making of our league. This is the first time we actually have them behind the wall with us here. It's so cool to see the teams actually play on LAN, and it's gonna be super exciting. I cannot wait to see the audience as well, how they react to those games.
Yeah, especially with some of the other teams that's coming up in our league. We got some clouted, I feel like, hardcore fan bases with some of those teams. But coming back to these two, I think what you said, Kakuka, made a lot of sense here. But if we were to theorize about what Koi could choose for Ascent, what would you like to see?
So there's 2 routes that they could take here. They can either go for a double duelist using Trex and Wolfen as the Raze and the Jet respectively. It's also a question of where are you going to feel Starks and Shadows. I think the biggest of them all is who is going to be the Sentinel if they're going to have a pure Sentinel.
Did you like Shados' KJ at lock-in? What did you make of it?
I would say this is pretty standard. Nothing like super out of the box, you know.
For the time that he had?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. Remember that Ascent is a very simple map, and it revolves around just 3 choke points, essentially. So having a utility by a Killjoy being used in all of
rickety, right. My bad, y'all, my bad.
I've been running since the word go this morning. I'm literally eating lunch as we get started.
Killjoy, because if there's a Sova with shock darts that are able to destroy the utility of Pizza.
I have an interview I got all prepped up for here earlier.
Big question mark to the defenses.
I'm going to be having here after this game, which is why we're only watching the first matchup.
Maybe we'll see triple initiator, double initiator.
Yeah.
That also like makes huge changes to the way you play both defense and offense, because it's more about gathering active space with the recon utilities from them.
Yeah, and it's not only that, we know, we can theorize, you
All
know,
right.
that Navi is going to be picking
Good, my
up
bad,
Theo,
chap.
definitely an agent
Let's
that
get
is
into
very
some fun, though,
popular.
shall we?
But what is going to be the response? You know that this is probably where you're going to be facing off, not only against Navi, but most of the region. How is the initiation going to look on their side? If they're going to go for that double duelist, something more explosive, and how is that battle for the information going to work in a map? As Lothar said, it's a pretty easy map, you know, it's a pretty standard map, so you have to think outside of not only the box, the entire cube, to just try and come up with something new.
I mean, it feels like a lot of that
All right. Let's
Nova had the luxury of being able
pop
to
this
see
up just a
Navi
little
play
bit.
Ascent, a couple times at lock-in. They know.
All right, we didn't get I didn't get to log in or start up before
I want to see Coda coming off the bat. Being able to maybe keep
map select. Y'all know I normally like to do that. So just so everyone is on the same page here.
Beating Navi on Ascent, you don't just no one just turns up and do that. That's not an easy thing to do.
We have got Ascent, Lotus, then Split as our matches today.
Definitely what the Spanish community needs, because because there's a lot of hopes
You're
with
right,
this
you're
Koi
right.
team, and everybody loves Koi. I cannot blame them, and they have many reasons to do so. It's important that you mention Coldamenta, because he's literally going to go against one of the biggest minds that we have here in Europe, which is Angel, both possibly playing from the smokers. I would be surprised. And also on the side of Angel, we had this running joke in Spain, where we would just count how many times Angel was going to die first in a round, or you know how long is it?
There we
was
go.
Was Navi going to be without those smokes?
Popped up over there
and
as
actually,
well.
During locking, he didn't die first that many times, and we were like,
Well,
okay, no, listen, on this map specifically, because you expect him to go just on the lurk, on a crazy TP, and you're like, oh my god, someone managed to tame Angel.
It doesn't look
Did he
like-
tame himself?
I can guarantee
Wait,
you that's not
where's
only
the rest of the
anecdote
EMEA crowd? Is it just
Spain,
that on the other
but
side?
all over Europe. But when it comes to
Oh.
IGL, if there's an IGL that I expect to perform,
It's on both sides. That looks pretty cool. I can get with that.
Known to
It's pretty sick.
iron out new teams, completely revamp them from the ground up, and make them successful.
I can definitely get with that. That looks pretty sick.
So I'm actually looking forward to this, and also to this guy.
Oh, we have
Baba
cameras.
guys, if you want to
Wait,
have someone,
Maybe he can hear you.
Has he smashed the keyboard yet?
yeah, I
Is it
don't
all
think
intact?
so. He might have like 3 keyboards there. He is the most
I don't think they gave him a
emotional
single
in a
keyboard.
positive way coach that I have seen. He's fantastic to look at, and you can literally see how he reacts to the match. It's awesome. I hope we have a specific camera just for him.
Yeah, and also I want to kind of come back to the expectations, because you talk about Spain, you talk about why
Yes.
the fans need this, and from speaking to the Spanish caster Ulysses and Yuri, they were saying that Koi fans are expecting them to beat Navi.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What?
They are expecting
What do you
them
mean,
to
wait,
win
what?
today.
I mean,
We're not
I
losers.
understand.
All right, chat,
there's
I
like
do
a
think
huge pride moment and so on, but sometimes you have to ground yourself in
we will
reality.
be. So we got this. We'll be live for a game, like I was talking about earlier. I got a interview that I'm gonna have to jump off for afterwards.
And everything went downhill from there. So if we're living on the hopium that if they had been able to close that map, they would have gone very, very far away in the competition. And it's a great highlight for you to say, I got up with a new team, I go up against NRG, and I get the win. Even with just that one, it would have been enough. And they got, it was close.
No, that's whataboutism. That's a lot of that happening
God,
right here.
Lothar. I mean, do you think it's really outrageous that a lot of the fans are expecting Koi to win today?
I mean, support of the fans has to be unconditional,
Woo!
and I love that. Hearing that the coming in from the country that the organization is
All
coming
right.
from, that's actually something that we should have a pride in. As
Chat, who are we
just
expecting here? I feel like
right? And
Koi's
the
kind of had a rough
teams
draw.
also have
What I
international
do,
players,
Tim, by the way, I've
but
just
still,
realized I didn't have my chat up. I am such an asshole.
It's just nice to hear.
My bad, man.
There's
What are you doing?
unconditional love coming from this.
Like I said, I've kind of been running from the
I think
word
on
go.
the other side of Navi as well, we talk about expectations.
I was
like
literally
you
getting
said,
things
they
prepped
should
up
be,
until
not even
11:50.
Definitively, but at least by some.
Been working to make sure the rest of my night goes well.
I'll be honest with you.
Oh
Whoever
shit.
I talk to, I don't think anyone else or sorry, anyone said they are not expecting that.
All right, chat. So remember,
best team coming
obviously every team
Even
was
the best,
at
even the best.
lock-in,
I
right?
think it's the same conversation that we were having
Obviously, they
last
didn't,
year over and over. We were talking about it's like Fnatic is up here, and then you know.
So this is an
the
interesting
way you
matchup
find
here,
FPX, which
right?
would be,
Because
Navi right
both
now, and then
teams
the rest of the teams. It kinda
didn't
looks like we come with the same
necessarily
perspective, but that is the chance that we need to give to the new
perform up
teams
to
to
par
actually
at
realize the time that it's
lock-in.
always short, because it always is. If it's not
Maybe that's not fair for Navi. Navi did, I guess, go all the way up until
case,
semis where
you
they've
need to
lost
be
to
crafted.
Fnatic. So
You
that's kind of
mentioned
what was
gap,
expected
but
from
I
them.
do think that in
I think Koi kind of had a tough draw because they had to play against NRG.
Wow, okay, that is
in
the
game
bro.
number 1.
Hello,
I think
Tom.
Koi
Hey,
showed
okay,
some
we have,
flashes
we
of
have the
greatness
Sasha
against
buff in the
NRG, who I
cup.
think is one of the
There's
better
no way
teams
Navi loses. Now sub him in map 2. You know?
in
I've seen him
Valorant
play
right now.
Valorant. I've seen him play with
across all of
Cena,
the
he's really
regions.
good.
He's
You
gonna
know-
pick Reyna.
So,
Peaceful gold, no.
I think Koi will surprise people with how close they play Navi, but I do think Navi takes it. Probably going to be a 3-game series. If it's a 2-game series, it's probably going to be something along the lines of like 13-11, 13-10, 13-9, like closer games.
I want to bring it back to Lothar's point from earlier. Like, how insane is our lives right now that we have?
I'll be honest with you, Tim. I don't get to cast that much Valorant or CSGO. I'm definitely trying to pick up some more CSGO stuff going into this next ESEA season. But as much as I'm not a big fan, personally playing
We're going into straight agents.
tactical shooters, I love watching them. Like on a competitive level.
What they should be leaning towards is going to come true.
Okay, so Trex is going to go on that cake.
Oh my God!
I promised myself I was not going to even mention Shaw on this desk, and he goes and picks Gecko.
I said
All right.
I expect Navi to experiment with Gecko. I didn't expect it to be happening right now.
Picking
but
the
that is
new
in
character,
line with what
huh?
the team represents so far. They always
So this is
try
going to be the
to
first
find
event that the
enemies.
new player.
I don't know if we have to ask them at some point. Is they ever played a scrim against?
This is going to be the
well, so like we'll see.
And the
First
controller here too. We got
event that Gecko is going to be available as the new agent.
That Sentinels that you've got to sacrifice if you want to play
Be
Gecko
interested to see
plus,
what kind of strategies
that
Navi
double
has around
controller.
this.
So definitely we're going to see some crazy things. When you were talking about, can they crack against Gecko? It's complicated for the teams because obviously they cannot play against each other because they're going to face up on the competition.
But
And
yeah,
then
so like
meanwhile,
I was saying earlier before they did agent picks, like as much as I personally don't play like tactical shooters, I love watching them, and especially Valorant because of the whole abilities. I think it adds a lot of give and take when it comes to play and counterplay.
The maximum map control that you gain with that amount of smokes and vision denial, but also you have flashes on two characters that can help.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love
capitalize
CS:GO because
on
it's very
that
much
space
like
gain.
raw aim, raw game like ability is what like leads you to the victory, right? But
on B main, potential of post plants is also pretty huge. And
when you talk about
Viper's snake bite right now is a very cheap way and consistent to also destroy Sentinels.
just watching the back and plus it's like only 2 teams, right? When you watch a BR, there's that whole like third parties happens. There's someone, RNG being a little, against you or for you. Like you don't have that in a tactical shooter, which is probably why I like to watch it so much. I also think that Valorant is putting a lot of things into place that is going to allow it as an esport to have a lot of longevity, right? You talk about things like implementing, like they've got like the like players union,
except for that killjoy.
This agency
by having a franchise league, and then also I don't know if the Challengers circuit format is the best right now. This is their first year doing it, but I do like the idea of taking like 3 like regions and breaking them down into sub-regions for like Challenger circuit, so more of those like T2 and T3 teams can get more practice. I do think some regions need to expand their Challenger series though.
I'm going to say that yes, that he ended up picking that Jet if we think about the traditional composition.
Just because when you look at some regions, like their Challengers series is already over, whereas NA, they're halfway through their mid-season invitational. You know what I mean? A lot of regions don't do, I don't think, like different splits, it didn't seem. Unless they're just recorded differently on Wikipedia, but
you have some extra pushing opportunities that you wouldn't have, and you also force your opponent to play around that. So if Koi came here thinking that that Ascent was going to be just as they saw in lock-in, I am so sorry for them.
I mean, it's Navi, it's Angel. They've got 3 comps prepared for every map, as they said in the past.
I'm just surprised it's not Angel playing Gecko.
Yeah, but that's
you know?
That is true, that is true.
So, but yeah, the Gecko, it's going to be a very big question mark. And
I still think
NAVI found a very cool way of utilizing him on defense, because that's
the pickup of... It's interesting to see them trying something new early with Gecko, right? Game 1 and you're breaking out the new agent, instead of letting it sit in your back pocket and waiting for an instance where maybe you really need it.
That's the question.
Need a curveball, you know?
And we're paying close attention to how the Gecko is being used on the defense. And also remember, this is a map where the orbs are easy to pick up as an attacker.
Yeah, and it's also very, very interesting, because you know when you pick this map that there is a very high opportunity that the other team is going to pick to start on the defense. So your starting plan has to be all around the attack. The defense is like...
Yo, I appreciate it, fam. Just one day at a time, man.
The own place to be, especially as you were mentioning, Lothar, especially on those clips where you have to be and what information you have to be gathering. Now that you have the Gecko and you have the knife, the 0 point from KO, that is a lot.
As someone who loves watching a lot, or you know, I cast quite a bit of esports, so when I'm not casting, I love to be able to watch it. So trying to kind of build a community that loves to do the same, that we can chill out and watch some esports, you know? VCT, ALGS, we watch a little bit of everything over here. Hopefully you're having yourself a good Monday, Abdul.
A couple of the teams said that during the lock-in, they had time to, during the pauses, they had a little bit of time to think. I think in particular when Fnatic were facing that Viper Harbor comp, they had a bit of a pause as well, and they had time. They had time to think about what they could do. And right now, I would pay money to be in Coda Mentor's brain. Lothar, if you were Coda
I was just thinking about it.
What are you thinking about?
If it's a 3-game series, I will be cutting it kind of close with picking up Little Man, but that's all right.
Well, with the Fade and the KO being so proactive, I feel like you have to gather space and deny the space from NAVI in this form, because but that's a problem.
We got a technical delay before the game starts. Sign him up!
So, this is a very big challenge for Koi, because their lineup is not as flexible as NAVI's lineup, and depending on the informations that you will gather.
Will do, friend. So they played to 13, so it's
defense plan.
Best of 25, I guess, but you got to win by 2. So similarly to CS:GO, the one thing that is different, the one thing that is different is like in CS:GO when you go to overtime, what is it, 3 rounds at a time, 6 rounds at a time. You play 3 rounds on each side. In Valorant, you switch sides every round. So once like it's 12-12, you go to overtime, you play 1 round on defense, then you play the next round on offense. It alternates back and forth until one team wins by 2.
Well, I mean, at the other side of this, if you're Angel, you're chilling. You're like, they play our comp. Like, okay, I know what to do. But of course, they're going to be starting on the
similar,
as well,
I would say Econ pretty similar to CS:GO.
It's always a good side for them.
In the sense that our first round, you're going to see a pistol round. There is no knife round, unlike CS:GO. But we'll start with a pistol round.
Even though you can argue,
and the second round generally is going to be like a light buy for whatever team wins. We might see some teams still opting to buy up to like sheriffs, or I don't think anyone's going to be doing the stingers since they just need increase the cost on them a little bit. But usually it's like after rounds or going into rounds like 3 and 4 is when you start seeing like the rifles, kind of like you do in CS, right?
This entire composition is based upon like getting the early informations and getting space bit by bit, because the Gecko
and just like also in CS:GO, you can kind of affect the economy based off of, hey, if I lose, if I still take out 4 players, I'm hurting their economy more,
really trust, and everybody is aware
and
of
things like that,
and how they're going to be playing and what they have to do. I think that now that probably Coldamenta and probably some other players are going to have to make decisions, I think it's easier for him and on his head to just say, okay, first round, especially the pistol round, let's just play on the retake. If they have something prepared, especially to go in the aggro, maybe. But I think that he needs the time.
Well,
they need to see how this is going to play out.
They can also gather early info without even gathering the space. For example, what I could envision is tracks on KO playing on short from tree, using his
I wonder
to gather the early formations about potential splits, and then
I wonder how many of these we're gonna see today. With it being in a new facility, like I know they've done like some test stuff, but
and because of that,
I watched a little bit of the Pacific region opening this weekend, mostly like when I was waking up getting ready for ALGS stuff, so I was never like actually on stream.
I feel like,
but I know their opening weekend had a couple of different technical pauses and things like that.
Yeah, I think that of course is going to be tough. I want to see the individual plays. I expect a Navi that is literally just going to go in and destroy their mental. Because right now, I can understand it if they were fragile in some way, you know? If they're like, okay, we have no response. That's what we were talking about the cameras earlier.
Oh, I didn't even grab me a drink when I grabbed my lunch.
I hope that he's using
Ripperonis
delay to come up with responses. But just by seeing the fun time that Starso and the others are having, maybe they anticipated this.
It's Starso. Like,
yeah.
I remember he was doing this when they were losing as well. He's just a very upbeat person. But I also kind of want to quickly talk about Shados. You know, you guys, we've seen his KJ before. I think at Lock-in, it was a big shock that he was the player on that team.
I like that you can like literally see the desks like up top in their little stadium here, like the analyst desks.
There's a lot of potential, a degree of uncomfortableness we could be seeing.
I think it's for Koi is about finding their identity. It hasn't been built yet. If they want to prove to the world that this roster is going to work, it has to work from different roles, and they had to show the idea that they had when they decided that this were the players that were going to form this team.
Yeah, and also coming to comfortability when it comes to Shadow, like his playstyle doesn't really fit, and that's why the Killjoy is such a shock, right? When he was playing Sage, he was a very, let's say, all-in player.
I'll be interested to see with Navi here, since they're running Gecko, how many successful plants or disarms that we get from the little, I forgot what the ability is called, his little chicken guy.
Because the utility that you can use to
Chicken Little? It's not Chicken Little, chat.
Have an advantage while peeking, like being on the wall, like with Sage, or Raze with the satchels. You don't have that as Killjoy. So he has to completely change the way that he plays on attack or on defense, because he's not allowed to do anymore what he was allowed to do with the other characters.
I missed the walkouts. I wonder if they actually like
roles that the players have had in the past. I remember that
I wonder if they announced them in with the names and everything like they have in the past, or if they just walked in kind of like they did at Sao Paulo, just two teams next to each other.
Not finding the comfort that he had when he was on the Jet, for example, is that he could not be as proactive as he wants to be. He wants to be aggressive. He wants to feel free. And now that not
See, I knew this was going to happen. I was going to go live, and then we're just going to sit on tech. No, I actually didn't. It's going to happen.
I mean, Jet with Gecko is actually pretty nuts, because she's the one that can close the gaps, right? When the utility from Gecko actually has a response. So imagine it's kind of like you have a pocket Raze with the Boombot because there's a wingman, right? We actually didn't even speak about the possibilities of getting plants with
So that's, I wonder what kind of screen that is behind them.
If anyone shoots Wingman, if anyone,
because I think that's actually glass.
Disrupt him,
I know where you are.
I've got beef right there. Like nobody on Koi better.
Because when they showed it on the other side, like it wasn't like a solid color, which means it'd be harder to
that's actually in important
like chrono key out
in the game, because in some situations this will be the 6th player for Navi.
Well, we're gonna throw to a quick commercial break.
Oh no! Longer technical break than possible. Not like this. Unfortunate. I honestly, though, you know, I was saying earlier, as much as I expect Koi to give Navi a run, I wouldn't be surprised if they took a map. Probably would be surprised if they won, but I wouldn't be surprised if they took a map and forced this thing to be a three map series. The second game today for the region, which in the future we'll probably be watching the back-to-backers. It's just today I can't. I already had an interview scheduled. Red
Bull gives you wings.
Normally it'd be a 12-3 game. Although to be fair, I see Fnatic probably smacking the ever-loving you-know-what out of Giants later. So I don't think we're going to be missing much. I could be wrong on that. I don't want that to sound like I'm counting out Giants before the season starts. I just think Fnatic's got the best. Yeah, so it's best of 3 maps. And we, since I was so late, I started after the map picks and bans, but similar to like CSGO, you alternate back and forth banning a map. I think they start with 2 map picks, or no, they start with 2 map bans because it's a pool of 7 maps. So each team takes a pool out off the plate right off the bat, and then each team then selects their map. So you have the first 2 maps selected. Each team then bans the map, and the map that's left is your decider. Even though it is a full season, sometimes you'll see where leagues will make them play the 3rd maps to for points and placement and stuff in the standings. Once a team wins 2 maps, it's over. But very much if you've watched CSGO, you'll see it's very reminiscent of CS. I mean, offense and defense, terrorists, counter-terrorists, however you want to call it. Offense, defense, though, is in Valorant. Instead of a bomb, you have a spike that you plant. Same stuff, you know what I mean? Once you plant it, you have, it's 40, 45 seconds, whatever. I mean, even the timings are rather similar to the time that it takes to, plant or arm the bomb in CSGO, the time to defuse. A lot of that's very similar. But like I was saying earlier, I know some people don't like that it's CSGO plus abilities, but I do really enjoy adding the depth with the abilities on top of the tactical shooter portion.
As quickly as possible for you guys at home. But first, I want to quickly talk about the season, the format. This is the first time we're having an actual league. We're going to have players here on stage every single week for 8 weeks, and we have a playoffs. As well. So even if these teams lose today, it's not really the end of the world. They still got a lot of time to catch up. They can still make it to playoffs, and we come from a region of upset.
This is so cool too, man. They're doing live events every week.
I think it's going to be very interesting.
I think it's in LA, if I'm not mistaken, for the Americas
teams, even though they're playing for the same
live show.
We'll hear from them in the future.
Well, we got some good news for you guys. I think
we're getting ready to go.
You guys know we have the best region here. We're so good that we managed to yoink someone all the way from North America. Here's Ender and Pavlos.
Yes, you heard that right. We are here in Berlin for the first match of VCT EMEA in the Colosseum. This is epic.
It doesn't get any better than List. Literally, the arena is just so sick.
I always forget that the Valorant games aren't quite as loud usually. So I'm gonna bump them up a little bit more.
Pit, right? And the entire theme is like an underground fighting ring. Literally, you've got fans hanging out on the ring on the outside.
Honestly, the ring design looks really fucking sick. In the Pacific region, it's more like a stage front, like the whole crowd is on one side, so it's like a longer wall. But the way that this is set up looks lit. I love it.
For our 2 teams, Koi and NAVI!
Woo! Yeah!
All right, it's time to get the show on the road, Ender. It's Ascent for the first match. How are you feeling about this one?
I am feeling great. Honestly, we've got some wild comps. Angel is always cooking up some fun stuff, and we are 7 seconds away from getting
Also, I've been watching this new HUD they're using. It gives you so much information. I love it.
That's going to help them get some market control. It's going to be a fist fight for B main control and potentially a split to B later.
And already we're seeing some early aggression from Koi over to B main.
What is that?
What, excuse me?
Now that's the first kill of VCT EMEA 2023, everybody.
See, Ned kicks it off. These 2 teams playing yet yeah, for the season, playing for everything, but also for the first win in the Coliseum. It's going to be a lot of fun as Wolfen tries to fight a little bit into AMA. Navi are still spread out. They've got the numbers advantage. Now they can try to collect themselves and maybe broach their way into a split A hit.
Yeah,
I also do like
towards this A site. Obviously, there's 2 players
Valorant because we can talk more. I wish they would go full screen
Oh, and this could be quite impactful. Caught with his pants down
during the actual round, but that's okay.
Traded, leaving Starkso to pen for this A site alone, which he does end up falling, putting Navi in the front seat. Kodamenta by himself, trying to find some kills, but up against the 3, it's just too damn difficult.
All right, so in case we, so I know Tim, you'd said you don't watch too much Valorant. If we have anybody else in here that doesn't watch too much as far as Valorant, they have these things called ultimates. Because it is an ability-based shooter.
I still want to see, like, what did he even have some?
He's just spraying. Nope, just spraying. Just spraying.
Absolutely nuts. But then also the reaction there after his teammate dies.
So to get your ultimates, they're big abilities that you can use to get kills, buy space on a map, etc.
So good to have these teams here in EMEA. We saw them in lock-in.
That's what these circles here are. You either get ult charges from killing somebody, dying, or getting what we see here, where he's picking up the ult orb.
One of the best teams in the entire
world. Tough competition for sure.
But Navi had a quite deep run.
Yeah, they absolutely did, and eventually falling to Fnatic.
Otherwise, the stuff that are more abilities driven, like these things here, you buy that in the pre.
To save for themselves, I think a lot to sort of.
It's all based off of, or you buy that during the pre-round.
Once again, trying to play through this wall. Maybe get a flash later on after the info you gather from Wingman. The mosh pit and the C4. The fragment from KO. There's nowhere to go. That's a nasty combo.
Doesn't get more uncomfortable than that, that's for sure. Shados loses his head as soon as he's able to rip it apart very early.
So, and I had said earlier, right, like you normally don't see too many rifles early. You'll notice that they really only have the one Vandal. The rest of them are like SMGs and pistols.
That's what Stark's looking for, entering the smoke. CNET putting him to bed, and I'm pretty sure that's all she wrote.
Should be pretty short work here. Honestly, the one thing I'm wondering with this Navi comp is they do lack a little bit in terms of the overall information, right? They do have some tools, but they don't have that.
So obviously that last round, as per usual on the second round, they had the bonus as far as, or they had the advantage as far as rifles. Now this go around, you'll see Koi's going to have the money to be able to buy their full rounds of rifles, as will they will on Navi.
So you oftentimes end up seeding almost the entire site.
Yeah, and as we're entering now to the Logitech.
This is where momentum can get very big in a game like Valorant, because a team like Koi just got their rifles up, right? But if they were to lose this round because of their economy that's left, they wouldn't be able to buy rifles again next round.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's essentially, it's almost like losing 2 rounds, really.
4 light armors, and a lot of this was like the sheriff fight in the last round, which more teams are going to go for sheriffs, marshals, these types of things, because going for light armor just sort of guarantees you to have rifles almost every single round of the game. Navi had a couple back in round number 2 that are going to carry over, and it's not your typical bonus round, right, where you...
And that is, I actually forgot that Navi was the ones who kind of made that popular. So they're talking about the fact that Navi very often goes with half shields instead of full shields, so they can invest more. It's a risky pick, but it gives you utility, more artillery, more often.
Ends up happening. CNED's been able to lodge himself in a main really good position, but not quite able to find that first kill. Just going to escape with the paranoia, the smoke, and the dash. A lot committed just to get him out of the spot, and he falls immediately.
Double-sided push onto this A site. Kodamenta holding on, doubles it up, and now Koi with a clear advantage. Navi, how do you enter through here? You've still got the assistance of Sui gets on the sideline, but it's Zip and an Angel.
1v2.
Find the following kills.
Prowler comes out, which gives his location away.
Yeah, he's going to pivot all the way back.
Oh, but he can go all the way to B. But the Killjoy utility is still there, though.
He was hoping to find a shot, find something, because that door is still trapping him here.
So he gets.
This is tough here, because you either need to make the decision to try and finish the slays, or to go for the plant. The plant takes, what, 4.5 seconds? Looks like that's what he's going to do. He put the molly down over at that entry point.
The retake, not a lot for Koi to try and play with either, but they've got each other.
They're moving in quickly, and Suigetsu, not a chance to breathe, not a chance to pull that trigger. That's going to be Koi on the board.
I mean, fantastic hold there. Cole Dementa first trapped on that switch, is able to get 2.
And also you'll see them splitting who diffuses that. That way they can both get an ult charge.
As well. Very nicely played, and after things got a little bit dicey, I think, right? The position from CNED to start things off in A main, I think is very good, especially if this team keeps trying to split their way into the A site where they're committing 3 people on catwalk and only 2 through main.
Yeah.
That can leave those players very vulnerable, especially trying to get the time.
So this time around, the Jet has their ult available here. You can potentially have Koi get their lockdown, as well as into the shadows really there too if they wanted to.
Right, because this is the stage of the game where they start to appear.
Yeah.
CNED with Blades helps out with economy. You've got Zipan. Close to that no command, can deny quite a bit. But I think the most important part is that kill zoom. Lockdown, very close.
Yeah, lockdown just one off, and
looks like they're going to try and maybe potentially push up here towards Pizza.
Not going to be bad options. Oh man.
3 of them there though.
Tucked up in here in the wall for Starzo.
They're definitely putting pressure onto Koi here.
I really love that play though. As a dive bomb shark, what was that from Wolfen trying to pinch on down? They had Trex flashing over the top of the smoke too, but a little bit disjointed there. Still, I respect the effort.
It's respectable. I think we can say that much.
It's important to remember, chat.
For now,
2 minutes is plenty of time to be able to get the spike down. So even though they've wasted, or I shouldn't say wasted a minute, even though it's already minutes expired, they have plenty of time to decide whether they want to try and actually full commit this thing into B, which it looks like they're going to, or if they're going to end up trying to rotate this thing A.
Play through mid. We're seeing this wall, which really cuts off your options to play off of Cat, unless maybe you're trying to flash through, but even that's not the most reliable of options. And then, of course, you can't peek from deep CT because this Viper wall either.
The problem, though, is the more that they delay on this, the easier it is for them to rotate.
Cool rotations to react in time, play for retake. It's not an easy choice to make, and obviously they're allowing Navi to just roll into this B side. Oh, but through the smoke, it's a victorious kill for Shadows, putting them right back in even grounds, but no, actually even giving them the advantage.
That's just insane. Shadows.
All right, so Spike goes down.
Very low time on the clock, and only 3 players.
4v3 on the retake. 3v3 on the retake.
Pushing up very aggressively. Cole the Mentor putting him to bed quickly, but still, look how far Navi.
So they do have the advantage. Yep, this is going to be Koi's picking up a second point. Well done.
But not able to win that second clutch. It's going to be Koi to double up their rounds.
If you're down numbers after planning that spike,
dude, honestly, Tim, the skins in the Valorant are pretty sick.
Or anything like that. So they're trying to fight forward on sidewalk. Just doesn't matter when Koi are that diligent, trading off one another, playing very nicely in that 3 versus 2 situation to bring things back to even. And once again, Shadows.
All right, so 2 ults available on either side.
2 kills through smokes, just a beast.
You could potentially still be getting 2 more here from the side of Navi.
How Navi pace themselves, right? They've so far been quite hold back. You know, they've got this ability to try and bait out a lot of utility off of their opponents and, you know, hope that they dry up until the latter stages of the round. That's what we've mostly been seeing, but, you know, they're also notorious for the shape-up in pace, which is exactly what we're seeing here. Very aggressive onto the safe side.
Oh, wow. Trex able to find one there, and Wolfen, we've seen him so many times, wants to go for that aggressive peak, but no. Up numbers, 5 versus 4, no reason to throw yourself on the line. That's the type of play you make when you're down numbers. Instead, just going to
so they fake the push into A.
Towards tree, a tale as old as time as they try to re-peek into mid and just narrowly miss on that.
Yeah, they see Cena, they're like, I'm not sure I want to go.
It does look like they're going to still end up trying to push up into A. They're just going to go through catwalk here.
I didn't catch because previously it had been in front, but wouldn't be of much value as Xiao makes quick work of Wolfen there.
I mean, you'll see some of them starting to use them here because you can reuse your ults. Like you can re-earn them.
Just making sure they don't push.
Usually what you'll see is when you're on offense, you want to try and coordinate a couple together to put together a good,
with the lockdown if they want to drop that one in, but look at the
like plants opportunity.
Sugetsu getting that kill shuts down any option to use the lockdown. It's so easy for the players near.
Like we might see the lockdown used by Koi here.
Make that happen. So it actually comes down fairly late.
There it is.
Deep too.
It essentially funnels them into that heaven side.
So that was this character's ult right now. The one in the yellow, the Killjoy.
Raptors now, 3 players coming through, but Angel.
Oh my goodness!
Blinking, you miss it. That's Navi on top.
absolutely nuts, just shutting it down. Lockdown
All right,
doesn't
so
even matter from main.
what the lockdown did, and
Angel's
the reason
able
why
to
the
get
team had to
job
pull
done.
off of the site,
That's an important one. Too. I
when
really
the
think Suzuki
Killjoy
getting
puts
that
down
kill
her
in mid
ult, that
was the
circle that
breaker
showed up on
in that
the
round. So much more
map,
pressure, and there you can see
if any
shot
players are still
very
within
rare
that once
what's
that
going
timer
on.
goes down,
That second kill,
they
I
get
didn't quite see
detained
the
for a
first time
couple of
around, but
seconds,
that
so they
was
can't
nasty.
do anything, they
Finos.
can't move,
Gross.
and it makes them pretty much an easy kill.
Out of everything that happened that round, what made me most happy was the wingman spike plant.
That's so true.
And so,
honestly, like,
this is
for whatever Gecko does for you.
Fighting mid, I
yeah,
guess.
why not?
Trex.
kind of like we had talked about. You want to make sure you're using your ults to get true value.
Mid,
Koi used 2 ults
I
that last
curious
round and
to
didn't
see. I
get
think a lot of
didn't get a
times
point
I've
for
seen
it.
this
You know.
Viper on attack on Ascent, I see her try to have a lineup to throw.
Like
that
here,
first
you've
shot
got
of
2
mid.
ults on
Yeah,
the side of
Heroic can
Navi,
use
but
that
since
to
you're
use
at the
punish
disadvantage in a
play forward.
2v4, you're more than
They're
likely going to
focused
save them
when you
till
throw
next
it and
round.
when you drop that smoke, but they're not doing that this time around. I think they've used maybe the Omen smoke before, but it would give them another option to sort of counteract that heavy mid aggro at start of round.
Navi look to move into A main. Well-timed paranoia will definitely deter them from that initial effort. So you can always see the pivoting happening from Koi. This should be a fairly clean endeavor. They've got Navi's number, really.
No reason for Cold to peek here. Just wait and trade off the teammates. Same thing with Sarso. You can see not actually holding that angle for the time being. Yeah. It's a very deep off angle, and it's just Shao and
Okay, so you know that you got the 3
Shower.
left, but they're still all.
And I think there's not much more to be said after that. Maybe to save, you know, the economy.
All right, and then you do still have that same option. Just why do they have this not full screen? This bothers me.
The way Koi have played with the numbers advantage, especially like when they're down numbers, they're taking more risky.
But same option that you have in CS:GO. Like you can try and retain your rifle so you can save on your economy.
Wait a minute. Yeah, no, okay.
They're fine. So
Yeah,
this is something
they're fine.
Koi have been doing regularly. I believe they're closing, we haven't been on their POV, but I believe they're closing that door as they leave the B site and rotate over to A when that hit ends up coming through. And it, as you can see twice now, it's just added so much more time, added pressure of, you know, if you're planting in a 1v2, 1v3, those rotations are coming in quicker because you have to spend 3 seconds blasting down the door, reloading your weapon, then running into site, planting. It's just so frustrating.
And it all just started from this, right here, Trex. Just peeking mid. That's as simple as that. Obviously, he had support from short, putting more pressure from multiple sight lines. But the fact that Koi are comfortable with pressuring mid, we've seen a lot of NA teams kind of like to use that maneuver.
Wait a minute, did
Koi
Lamar?
that to the arsenal.
Oh, aggro mid.
Pretty nice, and we're seeing that again, but a different variation of it. Wolfen will get shut down quickly. Shao.
What
quickly to deal with that one.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to let Thrash rip up mid, but I don't know. I think the
He
flash
requested
was
a trade?
over the
Oh
top
my
of
gosh.
Isles
Damn.
Right there. I don't know if Wolfen maybe got caught by the flash or something, because updrafting there was not it.
Yeah, quite lapse in judgment. All right, Navi.
So this round, we'll probably see a couple of ults come in from Navi, I would imagine.
Presence. Koi telegraphing that have left just solo Shadows towards the A side to defend it with his own utility. So a stack up here is massive, and Starkso together with a flash drive is able to grab out 2, as simple as that. And they get away with their kills they've gathered, just fall back, and with no reason to take the fight. Yes, an ult command comes in, but why take on this fight?
Oh, Shadows is
right here.
Destroys
No.
Angel, heard everything that was going down.
Angel was going to try and buy room on A, bro.
But they're running straight into the Killjoy setup, and those mollies won't actually let you out of door. That's a lot of time that Shadows can buy.
30 seconds left.
And that alarm bot.
And now everyone's going to be
triggers.
rotating
They know
over to
exactly
A.
what's going on. The dagger doesn't catch
Shadows?
out Killjoy either.
One.
Swarm delay. Shadows there with his gun. Pulling the trigger.
Shadows,
That's
you know he's
smart.
there. There
That's
you
so
go.
classic, but it's Colemente to finish the job up against
All right, so Koi's been able to
That was
not only
brutal what they
regain
just did to
control
them
here,
right
but they have
there.
now taken the lead.
The
And now
lockdown
this
is-
round.
I like the idea from Angel to try and get that ult over to the A.
Yeah,
side.
we're going to
I
see
do
them
believe
not
that
fully
Shadows has been
invest
rotating
over
fairly
on this
quickly.
side because they do not have the ability to
Koi
full
do
buy
notice the
rifles
spike,
this
but
round
actually
and
caught
next
it at
round.
Just the wrong timing. Shadows is
So you'll
literally
see
in
some
motion,
players
leaving the site
half
through
buy in
tree,
here,
then here's the
whether
ult.
it's getting half
Literally
shields, although Navi
turns
normally
around
does that a lot
and
anyways.
And
But,
it's a
you
shame
know,
we didn't
only
really get
one
to see too
Vandal,
much value coming out from the Thrash
one
Shao,
sting-
right?
or not
Because he
stinger,
was able
one,
to- well, he picked it up once, right? He used it in mid.
not a
didn't
fucking
find
stinger. What
anyone,
the fuck
couldn't
is that?
kind of capitalize on that with a push.
That
and
gun
then
there.
didn't get a chance to use it over in B.
Why is it
due to the
slipping my
collapse
mind? I'm a fucking idiot.
from Starkso and Trex.
made things really tough for them. Navi repeating some of this A main early aggression we saw once before.
Not the
Like mixing up
Bulldog.
fight, especially because
Now it's going to bother me.
aggro play
Spectre!
would come
There it
in
is.
bottom mid again. That could be really, really
Son of a...
crushing. Not just not having the smoke bottom mid, but also not having the darts to clear things away. But they've seeded tree almost completely.
Yeah, this is a lot of pressure.
Oh, quick flank though, look at Wolfen!
Oh my goodness, they're coming in quickly, but there might not even be needing them. Wolfen with 2, CNED putting into his grave, but is that good enough? Onto the site, they have to deal with Trex. Now quickly traded, but Zipan is alone, and he's only got a Sheriff. What a collapse.
Yeah,
from
so when
Koi.
you're going in
What
there
a
with the
quick
weapons
move from
disadvantage
Wolfen.
really
We
tough,
might just
they
be
would have
8 rounds in,
preferred
but
to
I'm
have
gonna
tried
make
to
a
take a
bold
couple
prediction
of
that Koi may be
rounds.
the most fun team
Or
to watch
take
in
another
Navi.
rifle or
The
two off the
plays
board
they have done
just
to
to help
set
with the
up Wolfen for
economy,
aggressive
but-
dashes has been nuts right there. The Fade ult deafens everyone right on the attacking side. So Wolfen goes flying up mid with 2 players behind him. Flash is ready, is dashing up, drafting over them, climbing down and shooting 2 people that can't see or hear anything. Like, what is that?
That is gorgeous. And the amount of utility that the attackers kind of spent to enter that site was just all gone to waste. Had to spend 2 players to look
The
behind.
stretch res
Obviously
chat.
they couldn't hear, see, and had their skulls being crushed by lead. Oh, crazy stuff. I feel like here, this is Navi trying to slow down the pace. It's Koi that's been caught them, that's caught them off guard a couple of times so far. The past 2 pushes, wherever they try to go, they get greeted with aggression.
The thing is, it's not even necessarily like
Timeout?
always on the same timers or anything.
Yeah.
It's not like start of round, Wolfen's doing something crazy. That was
All right, so
mid,
Navi's gonna
right?
call a
As they're
timeout
trying
here.
to work into tree, they're instantly getting flanked. You don't run into that very often, and I think this is something that it
'Cause they
is
need to
more
make sure
of Wolfen
this
since
round goes
this
well.
round, going for those mid-round re-aggresses into mid. That has been very common for him to try and find.
Just like we had talked about going into round 3 where Koi could have gotten reset on their economy.
Effective on that. Even though
Similar
he hasn't
situation
gotten all
here
the
with
kills,
Navi.
I think the rest of the team has been playing up behind him and has.
Because you can see as far as the white numbers in the credits, that's the amount of credits that they have left in the bank right now.
Because losing this, they are in fear of falling further back.
Yeah, so you get 2 timeouts
Really want to be that behind
per
from Koi
map.
this early on into the
Tim.
game. Obviously, we saw Koi in lock-in. They're good at starts of maps, but we've also seen them fail very, very quickly after that.
For sure.
Gives their coaches a little extra time to
No alarm in mid
talk
this time.
strategy with the full
Interesting, Sugetsu
team.
has been using this B orb for B main control to shut down. Right there you see Wolfen with the operator trying to get that forward angle, but can't really walk through that smoke. That's not something
I
that you're ever
do
gonna feel
believe they can
comfortable doing.
use them whenever. I think it's only a challenger circuit thing
Interestingly enough,
where you
Navi
can't
uses
use them both in the
full
same
body
half.
hit through A main. This is
I'm pretty sure you can use
They
both
have
timeouts
very
whenever in the
split
world
hits
you want, but
through
you're
mid.
only able to get 2 per
It's gonna be
map.
a play because they don't really have any ults to work with. Do have flashes. Of course, Wingman can go for a plant, and they do have the Viper ult.
But
in
all
the
of these,
post.
you know,
That's
all
gonna
of
be
these
something that
teams
makes it
have
difficult
coaches
for
who are
people.
on site with them,
Big change of pace for them for sure.
watching usually
CNED.
on multiple monitors because they're kind of able to
Charge
watch
the
multiple
side. Oh,
perspectives,
uncomfortable.
see what's
Ends
going
up
down.
low. And it's Tari to end up killing off CNED.
Now Navi's in
Drex
trouble, man. You lost your
picks
first
up
2
one as
entry
well.
frags.
Navi on the hot seat with only 3 against the 5 of Koi.
Sugetsu is playing A main, so they're not actually going to use the ultimate here. No pit. Try and lock it down. Actually, he's
There's
going
to be a Viper's Pit here.
The retake's already in progress.
The Viper's Pit comes in very, very late, which leaves Shao to
Honestly,
try and
the
do
Viper's
job by
Pit's not
himself. Up against 3, but impossible.
He died though, didn't he?
And
Never
it's
mind.
the bot that is the MVP of that round.
That's a really
Absolutely
tough,
nuts. The turret doing all the work there. And she
tough
just
round, man.
continues to farm up kills, and I can't help but feel like Navi maybe a little
You
bit
invested
split in
the
decision-making. Sugetsu
Viper's
seems like he
Pit,
realized
didn't get to
after
use
the
it
fact
because
that
you
he
invested
had
it too
to,
late.
and I think just got spammed through
Koi's
smoke,
already at
trying
that
to get
halfway
one down.
mark.
Very unfortunate.
You know, halftime it
situation
switches
to be
after
in,
12
because I thought
rounds.
Navi actually played the initial site hit pretty decently. I think
And
the
you're already
spacing
at
between,
where
the Omen and Jet
every
diving
round you
into
win from
site,
here on
while
out
the rest
builds
of
your
the
lead for the
back,
first
they avoided
half.
This paranoia, the counter paranoia that initially comes out on the hit, but then these angles up from heaven, it all falls apart.
They literally just sprayed into the
I feel like a lot of
Viper's
these
Pit
kills
and
are
got
just through
lucky.
smoke.
Y'all see that?
It has been
So
the
many
story,
of them.
which is crazy because it's not even like, you know, Navi's playing with wall hacks.
And
Like Starcell is.
Yeah, and it's crazy that a lot of these kills are with Vandals as well, with guns that can be traced. Wolfen, with a
His
very
shoulders
aggressive pick
gotta
early.
hurt after that, right?
Yeah,
He just
man.
went at like 100 kilometers an hour straight into a wall. I don't know.
He's got to feel happy, though, that he's picked it up in the end. Angel trying to square up that numbers advantage. Now down at equal. Wolfen just updrafts on top of his smoke and picks off Angel.
I like
it's
that.
that simple. But look at this push in mid. well, it's kind of a fallback actually from Na'Vi now that they have no
Yeah,
idea
so it's a
what's going
minute
on
that they get
across the
to talk.
It's less of a push and more of just a big chill in mid. You know, tucked over by Fridge, and now just waiting, seeing if there is going to be that reaggress. I think maybe as
Because, you know, normally you've only got that little bit of, I think it's what, 30 seconds between rounds.
Exceeded mid control entirely, playing 2 in spawn, spotting that one out.
So this right here is this player's ult, the knives.
Even that might be a little bit.
They refill themselves if you happen to pick up a kill while you're using them.
And, you know, there's a lockdown available.
Instant kill with a 1 shot to the head.
Tough cookie to crumble for sure.
Yeah, the post plant's not going to be fun. They have to get Trex and not actually lose a player on the head.
Yep, Shadows spotting out Trex. No command. That's
nice.
Down. Very important. Can they keep their players alive?
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think they contacted all the way up to stairs.
Nice to be able to get CNED.
And now it's a 2v3. No command, ready here.
The
for
problem
Koi.
here, though,
This
is you
all
need to keep
possible for them.
3
Well,
rifles standing if you're Navi, man. You can't afford losing any more rifles here.
Are on site is the most important part.
They've got a lot of time. They can time out this KO ult and then decide to go for it if they want.
That's exactly what they've done. No more, no command available. Lockdown.
You know, I was trying to remember that one because I know, like, in Apex, they can only play to them or talk to them in between games.
Picking up through logs, it's Cornamenta and Shados to win off the clutch.
Shados in the clutch is just unbeatable.
Wow.
Who is this man? Even going to funnel him the orb right here as well. I love that. Again, very high level play, not deciding to shoot the ult until the very last possible moment.
But Cornamenta was 2 steps ahead of him.
It doesn't matter.
He was waiting for them
But yeah,
to
so
do
they
that.
aren't able to talk to him while the games are live.
Swing from sidewalk, from logs right there.
Beautiful.
Oh no, it is only during tactical timeouts. Okay.
Oh man. I mean, not even getting the first kill is like, okay, no.
So normally your IGL kind of has to be breaking stuff down. So that's what kind of like tactical timeouts are for. You see something you want to, like, you need to.
Ooh. And Wolfen
You're seeing the same mistake happening over and over again, stuff like that. But I did just double check on my other monitor. It is in pros. It's only once per timeout.
They've lost that clutch, even though that round seemed to be falling in their favor. It can be a little bit heartbreaking. But let's see if they can draw it right back up. Obviously, Angel, very experienced IGL. He can definitely bring the boys back.
Interesting that Wolfen's playing.
He lost the op.
I thought he was just going to get smoked off, but they just take the fight and kill him.
I mean, it doesn't matter if Angel's in the front line when he's doing the entry killing. But look at this speed push. 2 defending for Koi.
Shadows going to turn the corner and get one, is he?
Oh,
nope.
Foul burst, but no. They drop further backwards. Still hold on to this market position. And maybe look to push in once again. Poison Cloud. They want to kill off the player on site before they enter, but it's bought so much time for Koi to move back to this B site. But no,
he's going to pinch up against the wall so they don't see his weapon.
They're questioning whether there's a rotation in from Navi. Navi pushes to the site, gets the kill. The spike plant will be theirs, and Koi is on the back foot.
They need a fight forward here with Xiao. Xiao a little bit.
Are they going to be able to clear Xiao here is the question.
It's fine though, he's got a crossfire with Angel. And he can just reach out in time. Xiao, first kill of that fight.
So they did look for Xiao.
Dead men
Couldn't get him cleared though.
Trex, Pikaru, but bye-bye. Angel for that round.
Very nice.
But they'll be able to fully invest. I mean, their econ's beautiful over on that side, right? Like,
down onto the site, shutting out Star
2 ults available on the side of Navi.
Lock that up. And it all starts off with Angel just absolutely murdering Wolfen. Wolfen having a bit of a tough go of things. A lot of the plays have been fun, have been you know clever working with the team, but the kills just have not been there. And when Angel is just taking these opening fights, it's one of those crazy things. It's like, he's on smoke. Surely you don't want him taking the opening fights, right? Because it puts you in a position where maybe you lose that. Well, they say, okay, first of all, we have 2 smokes. Second of all, Angel's just going to kill the enemy opper. We have full faith in him to do it. Hard to judge him too harshly for that one.
Ooh, Wolfen. He's just comfortable enough to push through mid like that. Of course, he had the support from short, but how it worked out, I have no clue. Navi now entering the B site. Cena trying to pull his team in with him, but he dies before his team has a chance to cross through that smoke. Shados just really picking them up.
So Xiao still has an ult up. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
End off the half, 8-4.
8-4 to kick it off here in the Coliseum. You gotta love to see that.
Strong start.
Really
18-5 from Shadows. Jesus. Golly.
After 12 rounds, that's crazy.
That is mad indeed. Okay, well, okay, Navi, we know they've got a potential to come back from this, right? This is not the end of the road. Now they're enter on the defense. They'll feel a little bit more comfortable.
For sure. It will be a challenge, though, just seeing how they work this comp. And they have so many tools to stall out side hits, but not that much.
So not even
reliable information. So how they're able to play for that is going to be something we'll have to.
Does that mean not even in halftime they don't get to talk to the coach?
You know it's going to be strong.
That is true. That is true. But I'm impressed by Koi, right? They're known for these early starts. And I think what a lot of people have in their mind is them being able to keep that momentum, keep it going in their favor, and try to close out this map. I think it's really important. Because imagine, right? I'm probably getting ahead of myself right now, but this is Koi potentially getting a win against NAVI.
Whose bad pick was this?
Match of VCT EMEA, and that would be quite a confidence booster.
We'll have to see if they're able to close it out. We do have Yinzu standing by with Simple, though, so let's go over to her.
That is right. Thank you very much, Ender and Pavlos. I'm joined by the one and only.
Okay, so
welcome to the arena.
This is interesting. Ascent was Navi's pick.
So the rumors are correct then. Are you moving to Valorant anytime soon? We're going to be able to steal you?
Probably no, because there's a new CS game. So I just coming here to visit and watch how everything.
Okay, Valorant fans, I tried. Okay,
I love it. I love it. Try and see if you
can
recruit Simple.
It's the day one. We're just open. What do you make of the stage and everything?
Yeah, I enjoyed so much because last time, been in 2016 when I played for Team Liquid, I've been in League of Legends, Riot Studio, and now it's next level.
Yeah, this is cool. It's a cool experience.
Yeah, it's beautiful music, beautiful lights, and all of this.
Are you sure you don't want to play here? Are you sure? 100%?
I actually wanted. I told CND just stand up a bit, just for one map, but no, I got it.
Speaking of the map, Xiao, he played Gecko. What do you make of Gecko right now? What do you make of this?
I wonder how much Simple
I actually watched NAVI practice.
Plays,
yesterday.
I mean, I'm sure he's probably been playing recently up until the news of CS2, right?
Goku, right? And Goku works, and I think they're gonna... I think it's overpowered.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Simple. I'm going to see if they can actually...
So for those who are unfamiliar with who this is they're talking to, that's Simple. He is a CSGO pro, and he is a pro for NAVI. Just obviously they're...
I'm pretty sure we've got like an entire comp over with
CS
cosplayers
team.
over in the corner. We got a Killjoy, Jet, a Fade, we got everything.
Pretty neat, pretty neat.
Literally doing it all. I love the setup. I love seeing everyone in person, the teams in person as well.
Great, man. We've been waiting for this for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is turning out to be quite an interesting match for the first map of the day. Obviously, NAVI being the heavy favorite coming into this, not having the greatest of starts, right? Koi having their number, a few set plays here and there.
I wonder, I mean, 8-4 is not
hesitant to react
overcomable
after the first half,
yeah.
Especially with NAVI moving over towards the defense.
For sure.
In my books, I feel like teams always are performing a little bit better on the defense than the offense, maybe a bit simpler. And again, with the amount of stall this team has, if you are trying to just full force your way into a site, you're going to run into trouble already with the Viper wall here that gets shut off instantly. That's a good catch coming out of Trex.
Yeah, 3 players detected there at the end.
All right, looks like they'll default this back a little bit. The question is, do they rotate all the way over to A? Still looks like he kind of set up for maybe to push through mid, then go to catwalk.
There is a bit of lurking going on here from CNED, but with that smoke, his vision is obscured.
Koi still with options. To me, it seems like this may end up being a split into B. Actually, as they pull Starkso back into mid, very likely ends up moving.
Be interested to kind of see what kind of plays Xiao tries to make using the Gecko on defense.
Right outside of market. Not that NAVI are playing for that necessarily. It seems pretty common after you lose the.
They are all going to end up mobbing up here to
right, especially focusing your attention on tree.
Move their way through tree.
Xiao's just going to try stall here for as long as possible.
Yeah, much bit dropping. That's going to delay, but with a dash, he's left to pass by. Behind the smoke, somehow is able to stay alive. His angel really. Saving him. 3v3. CNED into his own smoke. Comes out of it. Trex there to receive him.
If Koi takes his first round, man, because of Econ, man, probably makes it 10-4.
Look at Koi's health. They're not that healthy. Could be picked up easily.
Yeah, they could do a lot of damage here. No flashes for Zipan to get into the fight, so it's going to be all about the guns. And switching over to the Frenzy is perfect, especially on how low these players are. Sugetsu has to be able to find Starkso. But will he clear left instead of right? That's the gamble he has to take. I love that they're grouping together.
Yeah,
I don't like that they're grouping together, to be honest.
So the first one just swings by. Ferrari peak. Zipan
Double
Really
swing?
anticipated to be in
Yep.
that position, but the double stack up there from Koi allows them to pick up the second pistol.
Chat, what's y'all's
Good
thoughts on this
redirect from
overlay
Koi
they're
back
using,
into
man?
tree.
Like, don't get me
Finding
wrong,
maybe
I
a
like
bit
these
weak
little
and punishing
graphics
it.
around the
At the
outside,
same
but can I
time,
get
you
this
have
full
to- okay,
screen?
right, they
You know what I'm
went
saying?
pistol. Let's do a little gecko timeout. Let's see what he was trying to do there, because he obviously ended up falling right next to Switch, but similar to how Lothar on the desk was talking about how you can throw the flash like straight up in the air and then try to reclaim it very quickly, so you don't have to run a mile away. That's exactly what he was trying to do into tree.
Oh, bro, EMEA is right now for...
You can see some of the theory, because at least for
Challengers,
me,
I forgot
feel
about
like
that.
Gecko as an agent is just weaker than
I had to pull that up on my side
right?
monitor.
Especially like his blind, it's like the splat on your face, right? You know, like the in Mario Kart when the squid comes and yikes all over you. That's literally what it is.
I hate that.
And I feel like still having your peripherals gives you so much, because you know where you are, you know where you can kind of angle your crosshair. Gives you a lot more comfortability.
Like, I think this is cool for like when it's, you know, we're showing like the pre-round stuff with all the economy and you want to show off graphics and stuff, but like in game, I would rather see the whole screen personally.
So it's nice to see Xiao trying to implement some of those ideas.
Seeing CNED and a Marshall, but a very passive position for him. Nothing too overzealous, really. And
this is what
two rifles on the Koi side.
See, straight up, flashes into A main there.
It feels just like Lothar tutorial.
I literally saw him do that today, except for the Smite Vandal, which is questionable.
I really love the Nerf skins, like the ones that look like Nerf guns. Probably one of my favorites.
The only member of Navi with a gun, so this should be fairly simple and straightforward for Koi, but with Navi coming in, they're going to be moving in together. There's a potential for some kills to be falling their way. Koi's passive, they don't need to take any of these trades. It's clear, no risks are necessary to be taken, even if their opponents are just pushing through
There's not gonna
but
be...
this is
hold on.
where it may get dangerous. They're running out of
3v3?
time to get these kills quickly. They've gotten two. Can they triple it up?
Oh, that's just where the rifle advantage comes into the play, man.
And Koi recover.
10-4.
Rifle does survive there for Koi, so not too bad. And the second one picked up at the very end for Coldamenta. So not going to be too unhappy with how that all played out. But the fact is, Koi winning pistol after going up 8. Fantastic way to kick it off. And they're going to be able to fight here. I wonder... They could only upgrade into a third rifle. So there's a world in which Koi, because they're up 10-4 here, decide not actually to go for the upgrade and go for the fight into this round. I think in most situations you would. And I think the whole idea around like bonus rounds is somewhat expired. But you can see Trex did not actually upgrade. And I think this is largely part because of what money they ended up on, but also because they do have the comfortable lead.
Quite a bit of comfort. 6 rounds for Navi to try and square things up.
Huge round here for Navi, kind of like we talked about heading into...
in that pursuit.
There it is again. One thing is, though, I think the last time when it was in A main, there were players in A main and it didn't actually spot them. So now I'm questioning how reliable actually that does end up being for them, because obviously in order to have it go straight up and straight down, like it's a pretty awkward angle that may not catch if they are close, but there you have him using it again. Just a shout out to observers here, really highlighting Gecko. Obviously this is one of the first times we see him in competitive play, so thank you for that. Zilv and Mel, by the way, for everybody watching. I feel like the camera work has been less sus than I'm used to with Mel, so I don't really know how to feel. Yeah, it's a change of pace, right? Okay, well. Ooh, check out that the one way on the Viper, just because again the agents you see a little bit less of. I know we had like the Viper Renaissance back at lock-in, and you started seeing her on a lot more maps you weren't used to, but this one way is really nasty.
So now they're starting to get to that point where time becomes a little bit of an essence, because they're going to have to full send this thing now.
Well, Navi electing to not hold the site, instead go for the tree setup.
It's interesting to see that you haven't had anybody from Navi rotate over to A, knowing that the times that's left.
Coming forth, Koi looking to enter this, and they've been successful in getting in here without dropping any players, but they don't have much time to get that plant down. Cine with the first pick. Uncomfortable Trex.
Oh, the spike got dropped in the entryway.
Dangerous. The spike is still not down. It's down in spawn, and they have to get the kills. No time remaining. That is Navi getting the win. Huge round.
Yo, what up,
Navi
King?
there.
How you
They
doing,
absolutely
buddy?
Needed that round.
Morning,
and it came
fam.
down to the slow play and then the stall, right? Navi playing to their composition, punishing Koi for taking their sweet time around mid and then not giving them an option to go for the plant. CNED playing a little bit aggressive, going for the repeats. They just want to fight you to the death before you can actually put the spike on the ground, and it worked beautifully there.
Wonderful, wonderful.
How you
I guess you
feeling?
could also say that
What's
Koi
the good
maybe
word, big
left that
dog?
a little bit too late, knowing Navi has got so much in play. Right, obviously they didn't know the setup exactly, but you know, if you look at the setup, it's supposed to be quite a bit there.
Oh no, they shot the poor animal. Come on, guys.
The humanity.
Just wanted to live. That is
Inhumanity.
brutal. Yeah, I do think a big part against playing against the Viper is either A, catching her with your the KO knife, or trying to catch her on the timing of when she brings down the orb, because that cooldown is pretty long on the reactivation. There was an opportunity in the previous round for them to punish that, but I just don't think they were quite in position, and often you can't really play for that. Hold on. Ooh. It's going to be a mid play, but they're just going to run into this turret.
Hold the door.
Hodor.
Hodor. Well, in and out. Said hello, said goodbye.
Yeah, see, I would be confused if I was Navi. I'm like, wait a second, are Koi still in the spawn?
I actually need to
by
be
guns? Like,
probably thinking about doing lenses again soon.
Sense, but here they are, again, slow. This is maybe problematic as we look further in this half. Koi have been taking their time. Now, 45 seconds is more than enough, don't get me wrong. But if they stall out clearing through a main, this could be bad. And
Yeah, but if they
noted has caused the rotates to come in from
start
Navi.
pushing anything soon,
Short, which is where Navi
there's
has
your
set up 2 rounds
Killjoy
consecutively.
lockdown.
Prowler not spotting anybody. Snakebite will be delaying.
Probably a little bit early of a
Waiting for the
snakebite.
lockdown to proc for them to push forwards.
The
fragment.
literally
Fragment, they're doing a really good job delaying them in. This is the problem when you wait so long to push.
It doesn't. All that utility just nullified the effect of it, and Angel is just fragging! No way! And now the Starkso to himself, but he's just walking.
All right, Navi looks like they might be pulling off a comeback here, chat.
Navi pick up a 6 and show dominance on the defense.
Just nasty right there. The layering of molly on nade, on spray from the rifle, just gross. Gross. What do you do against that?
Disgusting.
The A main lockdown doesn't actually fully reach into heaven, so there's so many options. Sugetsu was pumping out those mollies very early on into lockdown too, making sure there was no real window to actually sneak out onto the side. I think one player perhaps made it, but apart from that, it was just absolutely perfect. And the rare save now to come in from Koi.
All right.
The hero with
Wolf is going to be the only one with the rifle here.
A little bit of an early presence here from Navi and A main. Won't be sticking around too long though. Fight's being taken out in mid. We're looking at Koi with pistols, okay?
It's a risky poke
this
out
is
with Wolfen
definitely
running
Navi
your
trying
only
to
rifle, but
bring back the tempo.
looks like it
Remember,
worked.
6 rounds behind, potentially after this round they'll be at 3. So this is definitely looking a lot more fathomable. And the comfort we were talking about on this defense is definitely there.
Yeah, I think Navi really aren't trying to put themselves in positions where they can be easily killed early. You can see everyone kind of holding hands, making sure there's going to be a trade. Because, yeah, one player can get caught by the odd sheriff, but if there's a second one there, much more likely you're able to shut that down.
I may be putting you on the spot here, Ender, but if you were Koi...
I don't like these delayed pushes from Koi, chat. I'm going to be honest with you guys.
Well, I
feel like it adds so much unneeded pressure.
They actually work into a
Like, I understand a little bit on the pistol round, or on the save rounds here,
them to sort of claim that space a little bit earlier
but
on. I don't think that it requires a whole lot.
it feels like they're really...
Die early to scout out near market, or bottom mid, and then working up into tree. Because also, like, the fights haven't been in main either. It's all been entrenched deep on site.
hurting their push.
Exactly like this. That's a bit too long.
Why did the rifle not look to the left?
And Angel both rain their bullets upon their opposition.
That's so nice, right? Just leave yourself at a very far angle versus the sheriffs. Cut down. In theory,
I'm confused.
there you could even have Zipan swinging out off of the Omen contact into tree, and then these players are like, I have to spin at like a 110-degree angle. It's just absolutely gross what you actually have to do to try and shut down those players, but that is a very nice setup. Even resetting the spray there, got a little bit ambitious, trying to convert it into the second.
I'm going to point out something. Koi haven't gone for a timeout in the second half yet. Right?
Who needs a timeout?
Who needs a timeout? Well, apparently Koi do, because they haven't quite figured out their issue yet.
So Koi will probably call a timeout
A big old pause at the start
after
of the game.
this round.
Players were actually allowed to talk to their coaches throughout that pause because the game actually hadn't started. And I can't help but feel like that's a nice situation to be, especially cooking against, you know, a very strange composition. Maybe seeing Gecko double smokes. Can't imagine they played against that a ton.
No.
I feel like we haven't really seen much utility out of the Gecko, though, right?
But here you have it, right? You're not getting fought in A main, so they're just trying to set
If
up
anything,
for
I'd
you.
argue that if they had gone with a different pick on
They didn't
offense, they
use
might
that
have had a little bit
cooldown
more
right.
success.
Moving in quickly, that's for sure. Zipan within the smoke though is trying to surprise. Coldamenta making sure he's no more. Koi, for the first time in a while, are winning out on these first strikes and do not want Zipan to be alive for it.
Absolutely perfect. Contact up through A main and then burst out onto the site. Don't let the util players bust out the mollies in their hands and throw it in. You just catch them completely off guard.
For Navi, they've got an Uno
All right,
reverse
so
card.
now
They've
it's
got CNED. And Xiao apparently.
3v4 on the retake here. Looks like everyone's pretty well up in heaven.
Trying to bait out Koi's position. Spray downs. Maybe when they reload, Navi will choose to push in. Cena walking a little bit further forward, his teammate right behind him. All of them from heaven. Breaking the eye. On a bit further, Trex and Shadows peek simultaneously. And it's all down to Xiao. They know exactly where he is, they know exactly what he's doing, and they are patient to peek at the right moment. Koi on the 11th round, they're back.
Honestly, if they would have lost that round, they probably would have called a timeout, but I didn't think they needed to call it yet.
There are options. Try to split into a site, try to bust on in, but I think the way that they just didn't make a sound.
What up, Oogie? How you doing, homie?
Really challenges this Navi comp, again, because Navi have a weaker scouting options, I think, right? No drone, things like this. Yes, you can use times where you send out man, or you have the KO knife.
2 rounds away from losing their map to start things off here, chat.
Agents, or, for example, a Killjoy that can have that utility on site. You don't have to prep that. You can just instantly react as the hit is coming on through. They don't have that option. They have to have the forward information to be able to time their util correctly.
I know we had some time at the start of this day to have a look at this studio, the pit.
Dude, honestly, the studio looks really good. I like the idea of the pit.
It's looking very dope.
With the stands up above it. You can see the multiple different casters booths that they have, because obviously EMEA is going to have multiple broadcasts.
The fans up above throwing roses on in there for their champion. All the good stuff. Maybe not in this day and age.
Yeah, maybe not today. I feel their weapons are their mouses and keyboards now.
Yes.
Yeah. It's good enough, though. Good enough for the action we're seeing.
Do you think that back in the day that fans would like dress up, they would cosplay gladiators? Like they would show up to the arena and they're like, yeah, I'm in my battle attire.
I don't think they'd ever want to be
not back in the day, no. Yeah, they wouldn't want to.
That would not be
part of it. Is something completely different that I don't think they'd want to be a part of.
Yeah, a little bit more life or death than the VCT.
just a tad, just an incy-wincy bit. Koi 2 rounds away from closing this first map out. Navi, though, has had a greater grasp of this defense. Koi just had a greater lead on their first half.
This setup from Koi is interesting.
Is it really a greater grasp on defense? It's 3-3, dog. It was 8-4 a half.
Well, Wolfen's just kind of
you know what I mean?
Camped outside of A main, playing a very tight angle actually in front of the alarm bot. The rest of the team is going to rotate over, and I wonder if Coldement is going to try to, sell some attention over on B, maybe end up ulting over towards A later on, or could just go for the more standard late lurk through mid.
Yeah, I'm curious if they will be seeing some creative rotation game going on. Both of the Omens have that from the shadows.
Just the Prowler has pulled CNED away from
I do like that Koi's starting to seemingly play a little bit more aggressive, in the sense they're not waiting
if the jet falls
for the last 30 seconds to push. They're still not giving themselves much time, though.
Install out that hit, but that has opened up mid for Coldment's lurk.
CNED holding it out. Can't quite use his dash with the dagger.
Central.
Inflicting.
Bro, if they're going to rotate this thing, they got to do it now. Otherwise, you need to push onto A, bro.
Through spawn all over the place.
No, they're sticking to A.
Yeah. Well, because Trex did end up coming all the way over, so they could end up looking
no way! Wolfen just jet diffed CNED, and he doubles up onto Suigetsu. 2 players without their heads, and now Navi left with 3. Their backs are really up against the wall. This is the first map of the series, and Navi's map no less. Losing this puts them at a really bad spot.
Zippen and Xiao have to
and
do
we're going
something.
to Lotus,
so
huh?
I
don't think Lotus was played by Navi that much during lock-in, was it?
Down that kill.
Oh, and Trex is just moving further and further away. Xiao, very, very eager to pick Trex off.
But there could be even another flank. You can see that Shadows is actually now taking down the Cat.
Coin playing it comfortable, playing it safe. No reason to overpeak. And as you said, they've got the guarantee of the rotation, the backstab. Xiao moving forwards, but he doesn't have much time. Yet again, reminding you of the back push from Shadows, and he's there, finally making his presence known.
And Koi is going to be on map point, bro.
On match point.
Yeah, Koi, sorry.
Huge. Koi all the way up to the end here. Shadows leading from the front as well. I mean, what a performance. Kicking things off on the Killjoy.
Has Navi played Lotus?
Kills.
Oh, I just noticed that.
Oh, they beat Crew with Lotus.
His defensive half was nuts. His attacking half also looking very strong. The clutch factor from him has been fantastic. Late in rounds, he's always good for his.
I mean, CNED was out.
But they didn't look that great against Fnatic on Lotus. It's an interesting fact that they decided to pick Lotus here.
But the fact that Wolfen was able to be out in the middle of the entrance of A and still...
Oh, no, Koi picked that.
Oh, yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense then.
just better in that instance.
Yeah, because Navi did not look that great on
it looked like they came
Lotus
up with that
during
sort of
lock-in, it looks like.
Because they had the Omen ult. They wanted to get him into backside. Hey, wanted to go heavy on the dive with that. That's actually why they rotated Trex, because they still needed some kind of mid-lurk. The shot doesn't connect.
Oh, he's needed some time to warm up.
How does he live there?
22 points of health. Still breathing, still living, still with the ability to use his gun. But Navi, you can tell the pressure is on. They're just making a few little mistakes here and there.
Yeah, Koi saw a lot of players over towards B, so they're quickly trying to split into A, but the stall is here once again.
They've got so much in store to stop this from happening. You can't enter from short, you can't enter from main. Good luck with that.
But they have 50 seconds now. The time is there.
Oh,
It's not
brother.
going. Angel and Zipband shred.
And when the utility's obsolete, there are guns there to stop you. Suigetsu in the corner to 50 points of health. Brings out the classic. Angel's there to help though.
What?
Doubles up. And there's a
Oh, and he's got the lockdown too.
Lockdown available. Thrasher thrown. Trex, he's in big trouble. CNED shut him down. And it's down to Shao.
It's over.
Alone. Lockdown tries to kill off Trex, but Trex has got his number. Map number 1 goes to Koi.
Damn, Koi just came in and whooped up on Navi, bro. Shush.
That was an unreal opening map from Shados. He just, the adrenaline
insane, bro.
back on stage, and the man could not be stopped.
That was incredible, and like
All right,
I
we'll
said,
bump this
a
up a little
massive
bit
confidence
for
boost.
the interviews
They
and
had
stuff in
such a
between
great
games.
start to their game against NRG and Lock-in, but they weren't quite able to close it right back in the end, right? So they didn't quite get the satisfaction of being so successful early. But this time they got it done on Ascent, on Navi's map pick.
Oh yeah, show up, map 1 in the Coliseum for the first time. That is a statement victory to kick it off. And honestly, just the way it's done from
I feel like I should know this Ender guy, but I
Shadows to
don't.
And finishing it off in that final
And that kind of
round.
bothers me.
That was fantastic.
Well, we'll be back very shortly, so stay tuned.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of where Koi got to, you know? I think if maybe even if you get 7-5, obviously pretty manageable, but because if it's 8-4, then you need to, I mean, you have to obviously get 8 on your defense, like, or 9. And that's just really tough to do. So now we're going to Lotus, which was Koi's pick. Navi is 1-1 on Lotus. Thus far this season, when you include the lock-in games. They barely beat Koi. And then they got absolutely demolished by Fnatic on Lotus. Granted, it's Fnatic. So, like, obviously take that for what you want, right? And with that being said, I don't think Lotus was that strong of a pick for Fnatic. Let me look at that real quick. Yeah, matter of fact, that was the only time Lotus was played for Fnatic, so it's not like...
Red Bull gives you...
Well, I mean, they could have practiced it and just been waiting for someone to pick it on them, I guess, but more than likely not. All right, chat. Go use the restroom real quick. I'm gonna give me some water. Be right back.
What a dream start here for Koi. They take their first map right here in the Coliseum against NAVI. I'm your host, Yingsu, and I'm back here with Kakuka and Lothar. Honestly, Kakuka, I'm never going to doubt you ever again. That was the one and only time. That was the one time I doubted you and I was wrong. Yeah.
No, but I'm very happy with what we saw. It's not only the fact that, again, they have to be the first ones to play. They have to do it in the opponent's pick. They had to face off against a new composition, but the way
they overcame
that
a lot that
play,
last game, honestly.
In that first half, the way the Shadows was doing things, the way that Wolf.
And now they get to go into this next game with some pretty wicked.
Not at all. He was still being aggressive. He was still going on the hunt for the kill. If it works, it works. And he did not end up seen it, but that's, you know, kind of complicated.
He won.
Yeah, he won. That's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
It was actually crazy, just a show match of confidence. Every single player on Koi was like, when you were watching their POV, they were absolutely mad.
Oh, you know who I should try and sit down with over here on the channel chat? I wonder if Kashera would take some time to talk. He just passed 1,000 kills over in ALGS.
He has a little bit less of utility to make himself, like, you know, confident in those duels. Well, he just does it and wins them. That's about it.
Yeah, 3 out of 8 that you can see that Navi were unable to win those 5 post-plans. And I trusted Coldamente in making that decision. And that
I think that'd be a fun talk.
Just give them time, because there's a lot of pressure on them too. You have, in so many occasions, we saw Xiao, especially I think 2 rounds before the game was over, that he did not use the mosh pit, just because he's not used to having that ability kit.
And speaking of Shadows, you guys brought him up already. Actually, we should have known how he was going to turn out, because let me tell
27
you,
and 9.
Navi only lost Ascent twice.
A 3.0 KD in VCT.
And both time was against Mech. And both times, Shadows did pretty good. So we should have seen this coming.
He has the number. He's made a WhatsApp group. That's all I can tell you. For Shadows, it's not only the fact that I remember in the defense he had a couple of crazy kills, just completely off the bat. I think one across the wall, another one across the smoke, and the way that he was so confident in everything. Not only that, on the attack, Lothar and I were mentioning this is something that he might not be too comfortable.
I saw him and it like did that Twitter thing.
The way that he was using those nano swarms, not even for the post plan. He doesn't care. He doesn't need to protect his body. He'll do it with his body. He'll use those mollies to put some extra pressure on you. And round after round, as Lothar also said, this was just confidence time and time again. He ended up with a +18, and it was a +18 performance as well from him.
And he dealt 280 yards.
This is Gambish Shadows we're talking about.
Where's his?
Prime time Shadows. Now, Lothar's got something prepped.
Oh, he's over on the screen. I was about to be like,
I'm going to throw to him right now over the telestrator wall.
So,
really?
It's lovely, by the way, at the VNNN EMEA network.
Bro.
That was the name, right? That was the name. Yeah, but,
hey, but let's make sure we ban the books and queens, man.
Navi,
save the children.
Utilize the double controller setup, so the Omen and the Viper, because it was something that we didn't typically have seen in the past. So while we wait for the minimap, I'm gonna explain the concept.
Is that like a confirmed? Because I know there is some wave of like
by utilizing two smokes in a wall almost every single time the same way,
like false
in the rounds. So
not
essentially,
false, but like
and
end up just being threats, like false threats.
And we have seen Viper.
Regardless, it's still fucking sad, man.
Being pushed in front of the orbs locations. Like you can see here, there are 2 smokes in the main lobbies, and there's one on the left on your screen is the one from the Viper, the one on the right is the Omen. So essentially what they're trying to achieve is the blocking the vision from the defender playing Gecko, for example, here, while the Viper wall on mid allows them to deny the Killjoy bot position in the typical default position, which then pushes Shadows to actually reposition his bot, and they deny every single lane was actually just denied when it comes to the vision. So A main, B main, mid, short, everything was being covered with the smokes, and that was the early game plan for Navi. Was it successful? Well, we know that now at this point, not really, but it was a very innovative way of using the double controller.
I mean, this is the thing, right? If you want to innovate,
so hopefully they bounce back here on Lotus.
Prepared, and you have to win with it, because if you don't, it doesn't look very good.
So there's 2 ways to look at it. Of course, it's day 1, but if you're going to bring something new, you have 2 ways of doing it. You either do it like this, like Navi did, or you just wait until someone else does it, and you just copy it and be like, oh, okay, this is, you know, they just wanted to test it all.
Yeah, I don't hate the fact that they tried to go ahead and try something new, right?
They looked really good on Ascent.
I would be curious, though.
Lock-in, but moving on to the next one, it is Lotus. Again, we don't know what they're going to run, but with NAVI, it looked all right, you know, when they played against Crew, but against Fnatic, Lothar, what was that?
They played the same composition though, so they stick their guns, but at the same time they played the same composition twice on Lock-in and Ascent, and now they
kind of feel like an asshole,
right? So the last time we have seen NAVI play Lotus, it was a Fade, KO,
nah, NAVI picked defense.
Race composition. So Race instead of the Jet is a
I'm wondering if,
but at the same time it's needed because Lotus
NAVI,
is so,
like,
let's say, it puts emphasis.
If there is something with Gecko that they had planned that they were trying in particular, because I don't think I really saw like anything, any like
I like the way that they
consistent like
on Ascent.
I think that especially
routes by whoever was running Gecko. I think it was Shallow was running Gecko. I didn't see them running any sort of lineups.
I mean, they did win against Crew, but I was not convinced. I was not sold. I would love to see CNET going back on the Jet. And honestly, if we have seen the changes just on Ascent on a map, that they were already doing good, especially with what we saw at Lock-in, that many teams are.
Yeah, I mean, especially because too Lotus with having the 3 points.
Now with the Gecko, please, I need someone.
I mean,
you want a team to use Harbor and Gecko to get. Oh my.
Yes.
Let's throw it Reina.
You want it too, you just don't know it.
Yeah, let's get Reina in there.
He said, nah, I don't think so.
But this is also the map Lock-in. We saw, at least against Crew, Angel was kind of the playmaker. He had all of the ideas.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that NAVI went to start with
everywhere on the map. Are we expecting him to maybe be the only person to stick to that Omen? Because that worked.
I guess the thought is you try and hold on for dear life during defense and then pick up the momentum going into the back half.
Still a lot to learn about Lotus because, you know, it's a new map, but teams have much more now practicing scrims on it. But I do think that the flexibility that Angel had in the past was just because of that.
Also,
had no idea how
granted, now obviously teams have had more, as he said, more time to practice on these maps and things. I'm going to be curious to see if we start to see the same trend that we saw at Lock-in, where the teams who pick Lotus
also
drop Lotus.
If Angel is going to change, it's because of something else. Now that they have been trying that double controller, I would maybe like to see it, maybe just keep the Omen at the Viper. Nothing against that. Maybe I would try something different with the initiators. I think that we saw a value on Sky, especially during Lock-in, that I actually really appreciated, and I think could create many opportunities for the players of NAVI, knowing that they have their solo potential.
I actually completely disagree about the Sky.
Really?
You know, yeah, I really dislike Sky on that map. I think the value
of
the ultimate. I mean, she doesn't have one skill is basically non-existent unless someone is damaged. So I don't like those type of non-proactive skills. But her ultimate is cut down in value because of the rotating doors, so it's hard to get consistent value out of
That's a good point.
While I think Breach is just, it's like Haven, it's like Split. He has so much.
That's a good point, actually. I didn't even think about that with the
actually
Seekers and the doors.
So when I saw that there are so many Sky picks on that Lock-in, I was pretty upset. It was like, grumpy, you know, sitting down. I was like, why aren't they picking this? But I hope that we're going to.
I wonder if the thought process with more people picking Sky, though, is just because since teams aren't as familiar, that maybe you have less clean fights, resulting in more injured versus dead teammates, maybe?
I would love to see maybe, you know, maybe a double duelist, or maybe I would like to see Trex. I would like to see him on the duelist, and maybe if he wants to go on that race, if he wants to create that extra explosiveness, I think it is the moment. I think that Woven already proved the point that, at least to me, he needed to make today. And
yeah, I mean, I think Breach is a much better pick. Even before explaining the fact about the Seekers.
Because there was a lot of solo picks that we have seen on the Ascent, right?
But there were in so many occasions that ended up as a win. You know, they just used him for information. It's another drone.
Well, hopefully he gets more support. But I wouldn't mind that double.
I just wonder, as far as Sky at the higher levels, knowing that the fights are usually very decisive. You know what I mean? How much value you get versus when you're playing your ranked games, where you know fights aren't as clean and teammates are a little bit more grouped together, so maybe you're getting more value off their heal at the Sky.
I don't think many teams actually focus on B in practice as well. Like, I'm not sure what you guys think about Lotus.
Listen, what I
True.
do want to
The
see...
Trailblazer can't open you up a lot of space.
I'm not going to say 100%, but I really, really would like to see Shaders again on the Killjoy.
I think you will. I think you will.
I would love to see that. We haven't had enough. He's right now at his prime, so I think that for Lotus, it's not compulsory, but it's definitely very necessary. Definitely, Lotus was, you know, that fresh thing that we had prepared for lock-in, and just because, as we mentioned, they only played one match, of course, we didn't see anything from them, and it's not something that we can be like, okay, so Star so used to play this in Ascent, Colda did this in Guild, but no, we have nothing to go off.
You can draw comparisons of the potential compositions from Koi if they would have been playing Haven before, right? And because the map is so similar in construction when it comes to Haven and Lotus, so that's why we should expect Shadows and Killjoy, because you need a Sentinel on this map. Cypher doesn't really give you that much agency as Killjoy. It's not really proactive with the ultimate as well when Killjoy gets that value. And Chamber, well, let's not kid ourselves, he's not going to be our main Sentinel anywhere.
I mean, maybe.
I wonder if they'll have
team
stream running for...
I could picture, and I think you know, some kind of a nice surprise.
Actually, I could probably check now.
He's always been insane on that agent.
All I want to say is that in terms of expectations,
see if they're going to have it up for...
I don't think that there was a time that we thought going into Lotus, we're going to be talking about...
Challenger Circuit today. That's the word I was looking for. Jeez Louise, that was hard.
This opening game.
Crazy.
Not Na'Vi. So, I mean, we talk about how it was an uphill battle from the get-go, but surely at this point, they're on a level playing field.
I would say there's a very huge advantage now towards Koi. Like, not even level playing field, because
does
right now
not look like they're using Team Stream for tonight. Or
Or
they haven't put it up yet. One of the two.
Really, like, you know, when you look at the scoreline from Ascent, you wouldn't say that Ascent...
I was trying to look at the ability and I couldn't see it. We were seeing Sugetsu and I was like, what is that ability?
You're
what is
scouting?
that?
They're behind the wall. You can walk
Now that we have them here, of course I'm going to be scouting, okay?
Yeah, but I feel like they're just coming of such a insane dominance from Ascent that they're just flying in. You know, this is like one of the rare moments when I actually favor not even the strategic preparations, but the actual confidence from the players coming into this map. So I favor Koi right now.
Oh, that's definitely a 180, Lothar.
I mean, it's a land as well, you know?
Yeah,
has like this insane buff right now. Imagine walking up to the pit, having 27 kills, 9 deaths on the first map, and you have the support of the viewers here at the stadium. You know, they just destroyed the opposition, and you have them in front of you. That's such an unappreciated aspect of the gameplay that we have. Like, it's a typical sport, you know, when it comes to that regard.
Well, we're into the agent select here. At Ascent, we saw Shao lock in that Gecko. Zipan is going to play Sky. Well, Kakuka, you wanted the Sky. We got C-Neg is going to play Omen. What is happening? What is happening?
Oh my God.
What is happening?
Okay. We don't get the Harbor, but we get another. Oh my God.
Happening.
So Wolfen is going to be playing on the kills. Your Trex is actually going to be on that
Stark, so is an Omen. This is like a huge roll swap.
I am confusion.
Wait, can we double check if this was correct? Because
production, please, can we get that agent select again?
I can't do this. I can't do this, man. It's day one. Can we just chill out? Can we take it a little bit slower on day one?
It was so much to digest in just 30 seconds, please. I just need to see it again because everything was different from what we expected. Obviously, from Koi, it was just guessing. But even Navi, what is going on here?
There's a lot of role changes in both teams, and although I do like the composition from Koi, I'm not certain about how the players are gonna feel comfortable on those picks, right? Specifically also because we just literally see a swap of Killjoy from one player to another when he performed so well in the previous game.
Wow, I can't wait to get into this second map. We're losing our minds over here. Pavlos and Ender, what are you guys thinking for this?
I think this is going to be interesting. I think this is going to be really cool because obviously we know EMEA is a region that loves to play around with the meta, loves to switch things up a bit, and we're seeing this from the first day.
We get to see a little bit of new stuff every single time. Again, Navi rocking with the double controllers here with the Viper as well. Not anything new to Lotus by any means, but seeing CNED on the Omen, seeing
still sitting
Drex
on a
on the Raze as well, like back on a duelist for him. That is super, super cool as we get
Hey, I made it back in time. Let's go.
Start of the season, they're allowed to shake things up, but let's shake this arena up a little bit, everybody. Let's hear some
I missed
noise for
Aegis
Navi
Light,
and
didn't I?
Koi on Lotus.
So Xiao is still running the Gecko here, huh?
It's going to have to be Navi. Koi on attack, but it seems even though Navi is on the defense, they take early presence over to A main.
Yeah, and when it comes to Lotus, every single round nearly comes to who is fighting for A main. Both teams going to try to take control. The Omen one way there, very powerful to try and lock that down. So eventually we'll see, I think, Navi using
pistol round here. Big to see the start off of Lotus.
The Omens always love to teleport over as well. So a late clear with the drone just to see if there is going to be an aggressive push on close. And they do spot the sky there as well, important.
Very late Al drone coming in. Well, very late. I mean, wasn't used instantly, but they find out that CNED's nearby. Maybe the assistance of Zipan has also been telegraphed, but Koi don't opt in pushing to A.
It does seem like most teams tend to push over here towards C.
Pistol, not all the utility in the world to dump it down.
You can kind of understand why.
Look at C, he's just getting destroyed.
And so is Angel at that point, but somehow still alive. He got blinded, he got spotted, and he had
no worries.
But he's still standing, and that's the important part. He can still delay this push.
Yeah, the spike is just completely...
Means you're all revved up and ready to go for the back half today, you know?
The door was opened, I believe, for these two players to work into the B site.
Oh, if Coldamento is able to push from B onto C, that would be quite a crunch. They're waiting for it to happen. But he's going to have to face up against Zipan. But Zipan is hiding out. He's not going to spot it. Will he be able to surprise him? Suigetsu able to pick it up in the end. Koi with only 2 players remaining. But it's Suigetsu's turret to do it again. Drex has the top, and Navi with first blood.
Navi even stopping on the D to start things off. Let's go.
Man, a 3K to finish Ascent. Open it up here as well. I'm sorry, that was Shadows on the upside. What am I even talking about? It's a Killjoy on the opposite end, firing back, showing that.
Well, Tim, Koi won the first map, which is actually Navi's pick.
And I mean, just
as much as I think some people would consider it a surprise, we were kind of talking about before. I think they had a little unlucky of the draw.
It only gets worse from here as they have all the money in the world to buy the mollies, the nades, in order to stall out those A hits. So, again, for Koi, when it comes to the attack in future, right now throwing away some mid presence, trying to maybe split either into C or B eventually, it will so much come down to whether or not they can control A main and what that means for converting that into an A or B hit.
Yeah, and remember that stalling is very familiar to us, right? That's exactly what they showed us Ascent. It's what they've been known to do on a lot of these occasions. Dry out their opponents from all of their resources. But Koi, you know, this is a round where they're going to have to take a risk, right? Obviously, on the bottom foot.
So it looks like they've rotated this thing back.
Have to draw it back in their favor. And you did talk about this A main push a lot, right?
Yeah.
This very aggressive maneuver. You will always see teams fighting for this.
Do you think CNED ever gets bored of just one-waying this off cooldown just for the entire round? Like, it's just nuts.
One-way simulator.
Do go down. They are going to be able to catch him on a timing now. When this one falls in just a moment, he will not have for 10 seconds, you can see on the E.
Going to pull back. Good call there.
So you can punch the Omen.
Yeah, I mean,
allows everyone to start rotating over, especially with the second peak there.
The first contact with the Guardian will get switched off, which means it's a potential weapon to be picked up here from Koi, giving them more.
Good job to still make sure that they're patient on B there with Xiao.
Yet another time, even if it's on a different frontier.
Nice.
They've actually put Koi right back on our radar because this A site is open and exactly where the spike can go down.
Yeah, they're able to get the plant too. 3 versus 3, not impossible by any means with a couple of Sheriffs and the Guardian that Shadows.
It'd be interesting to see a split on the first two.
Softened up. Still some utility available for Koi. Not able to spot out Shadows.
Coldamento, look at this super late flank into spawn, but losing a player on site, it could be too late.
It's going to take so long for him to get there. The spike isn't being touched just yet. Will they be touching it again? They know where Coldamento's coming from. They allow
Navi takes the first two
for a reason, and Navi get a second round on the board.
Nice attempt trying to convert that one.
All right, does mean, of course, Koi's going to get them rifles in hands this round.
And that's going to be 5 ult orbs for Sugetsu after finding the 3K in the pistol.
Good. One step closer to being back.
Not quite close enough, I think, to activate in round 3, which is where you can really try to spin things around in your favor, but very nicely played by him regardless. Now I think this is the round where we're going to first see some some A main aggression from Koi. I would hope.
Nice,
I would hope we
nice.
see some kind of a look from them
Not even lost
coming
the
in.
gun, guys. Didn't
Especially just countering out this one way. It is also possible they just try to play slow a little bit, and around 40 seconds in the future, when the Omen cooldown cycle is down, they could try to hit during that point. But at that point, because the Viper Wall so frequently, it's not down this time on the attack, but there you see it blocks off A, right? That's really frustrating to deal with because it's another layer you have to break through. And if you're waiting until 40 seconds to even go into A main, oh man, now you have to go through a Viper, the rotations, it gets really challenging.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure thrown at you, and you have to deal with it all, and it all takes time. I think that's the my main point of this. We're seeing.
Yeah, but Navi does that weird thing where they always fucking buy half shield anyways. To be fair.
To the C site is what they're heading for.
Get out of there!
Nano Swarm that takes up.
So it won't be quite as bad.
Yeah,
they still won't have rifles completely, but
screenshot the minimap next round and learn where he puts all these volleys because they are so brutal. There's no room, and it's actually forced Koi to pivot away from the C site. Even with the util down, they're going to move into B now. But there's an alarm there, and Zipan has another flash. Actually, no, the flash has been used, so no way to fight for the smoke. Shadows finds 2.
He does find 2, and that clearly accesses them this B site. Now moving into it, Navi, they've only got 2 to deal with this. Now, I wouldn't expect them to hold back. This is definitely an attempt they're going to go for. So let's see if CNED is able to find some magic here. Not against Stark, so that is. Shall have to walk through. Starks is there and waiting yet again, but receives
Get
a
one
bullet
at least.
between the eyes.
That's all he's going to get.
Vice versa for Shao.
There you go.
2 to 1. Koi on the board.
This is where I would scream Shados really loud and then not get confused like I did with Sugetsu earlier on. I'd be like, yeah, he's popping up last round or last map. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Regardless, Koi very good on them to bounce back, and here it finally is. Rifle v rifle. I know we're going to have a replay. Enjoy the replay. I'm going to talk about this next round because it is finally going to be a fight right off the rip for Rebel. I can tell you immediately that Koi have 4 players ready to go. They've got flashes. They've got the opportunity for Trex or Starkso to try and teleport and jump forward, which is really, really important. But they do have to be a little bit careful on the reflank, or on the retake attempt, because you can see Sugetsu only 2 orbs off. So if he's able to find a kill or 2 on this site hit.
Navi loses this round. They're not going to have Econ again, which can then start to turn things in favor for Koi slightly.
Which does put some pressure onto Navi, and you can kind of see where they're shuffling their pieces around. This time dedicating 3 towards B.
No ults available just quite yet. A couple could be available this round depending on kills, ult orbs, etc. Like Shados.
His left is closed, and he actually just got ultimate off of that. The option to try and burst over into the B site could be there if they try to break the baby door, as again we're going to keep calling it.
And that's probably the best idea for them, because the A site is just filled to the brim with Killjoy utility.
It's true, and you can see the positioning. 2 players in mid, so they're going to bust down baby door, and you have control over A lobby. You want to work in through that.
Both the alarm bot and the Aldron were used, but the Aldron was able to stay alive to clear out the site, so Trex can move in quickly. That guarantees them the site, together with the Rolling Thunder. CNED attempts the impossible and ends up paying for it. Zipan and Angel trying to bring things back. They're in trouble. They're surrounding the site, but Koi are pushing themselves. They lose a lot of players in the process.
Oh, there's 2 there.
Sugetsu within the midst
He gets
of
a second, right?
Oh! Another one! How does he even do that? Wolfen up against the 3 now, on the hot seat. Snake bite to his feet, gets burnt alive. And Navi stay alive and get a 3rd round on the board.
Huge play right there with Angel
Navi getting
in B link.
Looking impressive on defense here is interesting.
But they were not ready for Sugetsu. He absolutely crushes them.
This is a map that I feel like recently has definitely shown
you're having pressure from all different angles, and you're down numbers. You have to
offensive
choose one
sided,
and
right?
move in that direction as a unit. That's what they did, but it didn't matter. Navi, Sugetsu, just better.
Oh, visible frustration on the side of Koi, that's for sure. Nerves getting to them. Yes, they're ahead in this series, but this game is far from over.
Big ultimates from Navi to work with here for fast retake options. I mean, the double ways to shut off your movement.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be able to get it. I'm kind of surprised he didn't swing a little wider and get the double off rip. Would have been sick, but...
A little bit of space over towards Mound, with Angel fighting in front with a very forward orb as well.
Bro, I keep seeing stuff about the 2K event this weekend down in DC. I really want to go, bro.
Circles on the map and all of our smokers, but that makes a little bit more sense for the early smoke using the Omen there.
Take flight.
Ooh, and this drone into B. If no one's here to break this, they may bite and assume there's more players. As the door opens, they know Angel is stuck here. Back, nobody finds the kill.
But again, Koi, the game plan wasn't B, it was C all along. Maybe to try and bait out the C players out into the open, but still, that doesn't even matter. Starks into the smoke, excuse me. Things are even. 4v4, 50 seconds, and Koi still haven't changed their position.
Oh, the ult.
Oh, nice entry in. Oh, that's so brilliant. He saw him though, right? I think Xiao saw him.
The rest of the team can move on, but they need to clear it quickly. Starkso looking to move forwards. Navi playing with very close quarters here. Very thin margins. Xiao able to keep his team on top, but look at Starkso. He's doing some damage. Xiao in and out of the battle has done his job. With the lockdown being procced, they have the safety of the site.
But again, you see down numbers. You must fight forward. That's the teleport.
They say they need to get this down and
the initial
at least see if they can go for a different angle.
For Koi, even though they're down with numbers.
This Cold is still sitting right on the spike, dog.
This is tough. It's not even pardoned for long. They need to take the fight. Mortamenta, that's one.
Okay.
But he's out in the open. Does not expect Zipan there. And that is Navi. Easy way into a 4th round.
Oh,
4 rounds on defense already here for Navi.
Spawn there, but Navi are grouping up, making sure they can protect the lockdown or shoot any players trying to escape off the site. Comes the cost of an ultimate, but Navi will secure the round. And it was this right here, because Navi revealed his position, opening the door, right? Assuming it was going to be B, he bid on it completely. It doesn't matter, though, because the fight just went his way. It's exactly what you're going to ask for him when they're investing the Omen smokes, not for the C main control, or for the A main control, but instead to fight forward for Mount.
And that was actually a very important round for Koi, right? Because now their pockets are empty. Recession is hit.
Now you got
this is so sad.
Nothing over on the other side here. Reset on Koi.
Can't even buy a rifle.
I mean, they should be able to get round number 5 here. One around that, one away from that halfway point here in half number 1.
The price of bullets also, I think, increasing. I think they patched that into the game with the chamber a little while ago, actually.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Oh man. Koi, it's tough. They don't have much to work with. Now, that being said, if
what
they
up,
are
Lone Star?
In a world where somehow
big chillin',
they find
fam.
the soft side of the map and they do get the spike down, Coldmented does have access to
Koi pulled off the surprise in game number 1. Navi bouncing back here on Lotus, though.
Hopeful
on defense, surprisingly. How are you doing?
And interestingly enough, it is CNED on the Opman here, pulling out the rifle again because they don't have a traditional duelist in the way. CNED, and I think you're going to see a lot of this with teams playing less duelist in general. The smokes player actually perhaps going into that route. I think Harbor has some options to get out of jail free. I think Omen as well, sort of teleporting off of bad angles.
It's such an interesting story for CNED as well, right? Had such a turbulent year in 2022, excuse me, after the championship win, and yeah, hasn't been able to bring it back in the chamber meta.
But that's great though.
Nice, nice. So welcome in.
A similar way to a Jet, you take the fight and then you can TP up and away.
If you're a fan of VCT, who's some of your favorite teams to watch?
Between playing Jet compared to another opper. But I think the amount of utility it can give you, especially with the paranoia, smokes as well, like there are definite strong reasons to do so.
Okay.
Now going to be able to go for the disarm. Or the diffuse.
Ooh. That's exactly what you want to see.
Ooh.
Firepower work, Shadows. Maybe to bail out the team on a very tough spot. Hunter's Fury might be able to deny the plant or the defuse, excuse me. And CNED is low, but he will be able to hold down that spike defuse. And Navi holds on to the lead and increases it even further.
Up to 5
honestly,
here.
Coldmental went for that. I think ended up casting it before his remaining teammate did end up falling because he had to have that tree player stay alive if there was ever going to be a chance to delay on time with that one. Still, Navi secure the round. We see the op in CNED's hand. I believe that was the first round. He was rocking that one.
Well, yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, we haven't seen I forget the little guy's name for Gecko. The little chicken looking. I call him Chicken Little, but I know it's not actually his name.
Looking for the opening picks with that because not always the most fun thing to try and retake with an op, especially on the Omen for the aggressive peaks.
Well, Young Gun Trex. The showstopper available too. They might opt to go in for a fast explosive push now. Koi, it's been a while since they've been able to find a round.
This is what I call the Lotus experience. About like 6 players just hip firing through the smoke, seeing what ends up happening. Nothing doing over towards A. Now, if this hit were to be
I'm trying to think about, I mean, I feel like Koi's had a little bit more.
Now he backs away just a little bit.
success getting into side on A, man. They just have not been able to protect this spike once it goes down.
Gives him a clear indication of what's going on, even if Trex is blast packing his way into the air. Sugetsu still finds a way to find.
You know what's kind of crazy, Lone Star? Is that you have now followed me to 3 different platforms. You literally have nothing better to do with your life, my guy.
No, there was an opponent right behind it. Sugetsu on the higher ground.
Like, you gotta have something better to do with your life, right?
Down he goes. Sugetsu still alive, but Stuxo deals with him. Koi on the back foot, need the kills and need them quick. Shao went so low, but still able to survive throughout it, Stuxo. Your team is depending on you. And the time is just ticking against him. Spike in no man's land. Oh, this is a rough one. You might as well call it over by this point.
I've just never quite understood what you're trying to achieve, my friend.
Absolutely in Narnia at the moment. And a good stall from Navi once again. I think we have seen when these hits do not immediately work out for Koi, instant troubles. And right there it was Trex. I think only having 1 satchel, he didn't actually want to commit the ultimate into sight, and he just gets...
Bro, Lone Star, let's not act like we don't know who you are just because you come in and say the same shit that you've been saying for 3 years across Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, I would like that if you're going to continue and come in here and annoy me, that you at least do me a favor and not act like I'm a fucking idiot. You know what I mean?
Those difficult points, I think it was just able to find those advantages when they cross.
What's funny was I was already suspicious that was you because of your name.
And you know, if the initial sight hit isn't paying off for Koi, they are going to rely more on...
Pretty sure Oogie was too, which is why he asked.
Sending a player into...
You know what I mean?
Didn't end up working. Ended up getting picked off. The enemy Killjoy utility spotting him out as he entered into the site. So it will be a ton of calls here to try and regroup.
Let's not act like you're...
I think definitely necessary.
Slick.
Right? Last time they did draw out the timeout in that second half of Ascent. It did work out. It came in a little bit too late, for my liking.
Sure. But after that timeout, looked incredible, right? Had exactly the right ideas to try and close out that half. Now, for Koi, what's been happening to them? I think their C hits have looked abysmal.
Their C hits have looked awful.
Mountain control a couple of times they've been fought there.
What do you mean you didn't even know I moved? I thought you were new here.
It's not allowed into the site. So I don't like that initially. Perhaps maybe opening door and trying to see it to me. That's why I like the vaults a little bit more. It hasn't been a ton of contest from Navi, actually, the more I think about it, for aiming anymore. I think early on we saw a lot of that, but now it has just been the smokes largely. So I'd not be surprised if Koi continue trying to play for that, potentially trying to break Baby Door and then split into the B side.
I think
that worked for them previously.
The thing, I still stream on Twitch just when I'm playing video games versus doing
to find these entries, find advantages,
watch parties and stuff.
Big part of it, trying to enter, not finding those initial picks. The young gun, the 18-year-old, not quite on the case this time.
There is the flash to scout out and realize Koi is here. Now, actually check out where CNED's gone. Glad we snapped over to him, because you don't really expect the op to be hanging out right here next to the box in mid.
Now, if this was a chamber, it'd be totally okay, because you could just snap your fingers and you're out of there. But now you're stuck.
And you
CNED's down.
That's perfect, though. That's the pinch, breaking through Baby Door into sight. Trex has ultimate, too, trying to go back into A. I don't think Navi would expect that.
Finally, a plan going the way that Koi wanted. Now, they've got the advantage, they need to keep it.
How do they do that? 2 players from Navi are going to try to fight through Baby Door right after the timing of the paint shell.
So many players stacked up here.
Bro, so many people here.
Know there's a lot of presence. Who's able to take the fight? Everybody's blind as a bat. Suigetsu moving forward, but they can't afford to trade evenly. They have to eventually come out on top. Angel on the back end. Stuxo closing it off. Rolling Thunder.
Koi's starting to get a little bit of a counter.
Nice. Wolfen is able to take them out, and that's Koi on the board.
Getting their second one here, man. Hell yeah.
Here. They just download exactly what they need to do. Coming into that again, the timing of when they're peeking into B main and breaking down Baby Door, right? Like, CNED had nothing E2. Yes, he missed the opening shot. You have to hit that one, especially when you're playing the Omen. But normally you'd be able to TP out there and be fine. Not with the timing of how Koi pinched into that B side.
Oh, I can do that? Oh, that's so much better.
Maybe you could have done it without expending the rolling.
Oh, that's so much better.
You never know if you're going to win the fights in the end, so a guarantee.
At the end of the day, I am all aboard to use every ult you can to win a round, because having your number at the top of the scoreboard be bigger than it was before is way better than being able to use your ult in the next round.
You know what's funny, Oogie, is I looked down at the chat
to talk about,
and I thought
Navi's got 4
maybe, just maybe.
A few of them quite
and almost always the feelings just hold true, you know?
Let's just see into the middle of sight to scout out, and that actually tells them the Killjoy setup's here, but they get through pretty fine.
Do they, though? Because Shao's already taken one down. Lockdown is available, so they don't quite have the comfort of putting the spike down.
The paint shells broke it.
The lockdown.
Oh, bro.
the paint shots.
Oh!
Now, this initial kill, wow, another a util kill from Trex. That's just absolutely nuts. Now, ulting out from the Omen.
I think I've seen that in a long time.
Retake.
And a different setup now for the post plant. They're going to play out from long, try to deny the spike diffusal, but this gives a lot of space for Navi to move in.
It is planted for Koi to play here from Mound. They have at least one molly, maybe two, onto the spike as well. Seekers are going to do a good job clearing away the close angles, but the far ones are still a problem.
Seekers are out. They're figuring out the play now from Koi. Call them into the back of the site. Get to be clear. That's spending a lot of time for Navi. You've only just picked
I'll
it
be
up.
honest, I didn't even think about it.
Paint shots onto the spike. Zipan has to move out of it. He's touched it, but he can't stick it. And now they touch it once again. Trex sprays in that direction. It's being diffused. It's being diffused. It's being diffused. And nobody's able to stop it. Ninja defuse by CNED, putting Navi on the board yet again.
What is that? Trex gets an ace and they can't win the round. Nothing's going right for Koi.
What is this game so far?
Just a criminal right there inside the smoke.
Navi did not look good last game. Koi does not look good on their map pick. Like, what is this?
Absolutely nuts, because everything was going right. It's a paint shell kill into another spam kill for Trex. Like, Trex couldn't be stopped with all these kills through smoke.
Kill him, you must.
Kill him, you must.
Unkillable, apparently, CNED. And yeah, that round had
Bruv.
written all over it. They played all their cards right, apart from
Dog.
Apart from killing the person defusing the spike. That's the one thing
Hold on,
exactly
see.
you got to be able to stop. It's actually the most important thing, believe it or not.
Yeah, that trump card.
Let's see if this clip.
Don't let big KDA tell you otherwise. It's not about the scoreboard numbers. It's about the spike.
Let's see if this restarts. Oh, actually, I'll wait until this round's over.
Yes, Navi used 3 out of the 3.
This clip from Watson is actually hilarious.
So Koi aren't choosing to move to that. Instead, they opt towards the right-hand side.
Sure. Koi looking for this B split again, I would presume, with the spike up in mid. Gonna want to bust down Baby Door, but
yeah, Trex hasn't had the best of luck this game so
again,
far.
the Lotus experience, just getting kills through smokes non-stop.
Feels you're talking from personal trauma here, Ender.
Yeah, a little bit. It's been rough. Oh my god.
I guess the good news is there's no DMs on YouTube, right?
B site, it's like our pit.
Positive.
Right? It's just sunk into the ground.
True.
A lot of similarity.
Ours looks better. Wolfen. Trying to bring it back. Koi in the back foot. They've got on the site, but the fact that Navi are winning out on all of these fights, Wolfen cannot find it.
Did Navi just like show up late? Is that the deal?
Smoke finds one, maybe doable if he checks behind him. Jumps on top, but he's visible to Sui.
Because they look really good now.
And Navi cannot stop winning.
This is crazy, because it feels like a couple rounds now, Koi put themselves in really good positions, right? Splitting.
Because this is normally a very
previous round, Trex gets an ace, but Navi
offensive side of the map, right?
Out from these tough positions. One before a fluke.
Am I tripping?
Here, very solid. Xiao getting this nuts kill through smoke. Holding the attention outside of A2. I think CNED especially has realized this, that after the plants on the B site, when it has been the C split.
The difference between the two coaches. Yeah, and this guy's like, bro, I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know. It's a them problem, not a me problem. I'm not playing the game.
Does not look happy at all. Obviously, he's had his impacts on those timeouts to let the team know what to do, what not to do. And has allowed Koi to scramble themselves a round or two, but not exactly what they...
I did not notice that, by the way, Oogie. That was a good observation.
Koi trying to farm up some orbs, right? This will guarantee Wolfen at least has his ult for the final round of half. Trex has his now.
So that's a good point. I didn't think about that with the heal through, like, pushes onto stuff.
Sight hit tool. But also, Trex is probably the guy that wants to be taking the opening fights. They're going to have to use all their info util to clear it away to make sure Trex can get nearby and up close to pop out with that ultimate. But no, he gets shut down. That's exactly what you can't have happen on this hit from Koi.
Ooh, Wolfen. This is quite a step up in stages you played so far.
At least, though, Wolfen farmed both orbs, so they do have another option to get into the site. But again, all this site util is going to be spent to try and stall out the hit. It's actually not quite here, so they are going to get in.
Last time, he got left here. They were able to successfully take the site, have optimal amount of players to end up on top, but it was an into defuse that killed them off in the end. 4v4, Spray, desperate from Angel. We're waiting for all of the players to move in from 2 different directions.
Starkso will be the break here for Koi. If he's able to get a big flank in, but he has to go quickly because Navi are going in hot.
Trailblazer cleaning the side. Paranoia to make sure they can move onto the back end. Wolfen still on point, still delivering. Does get shut down, and Navi has an advantage here. But look at Starkso. He's right behind them, and he's able to put them to their graves.
Oh!
But that's even before Angel ends up falling. Zipan trying to fight it.
Go?
Starkso, TP into the smoke. Spraying it.
What?
Starkso wins it. Koi on the board.
Oh, that's how you do it right there. Starkso, the flank works out, coming in a little bit delayed, shuts it down, almost dodgy for a second, but the TP in motion, he's able to hide inside his own smoke. He'd actually set up for himself a few seconds before that one. And crucially this time, they killed the person defusing the spike.
They figured it out.
That's Valorant.
That's Valorant right there.
Sometimes Valorant is a very simple game. Sometimes it's more complicated, like when Trex and Coldamenta have the ultimates ready to go, when Starkso maybe wants to find an orb at the start of this round to go for it. Also, when Navi are spending so much util to control a main. This is something I was maybe expecting to see a little bit earlier on. Sort of the meta that developed to lock in was so much.
Last round here.
Control Rubble, fighting for it very aggressively, but
at least as far as for this half.
The thing is that Thrash can be used again, so it's not like you've used the ultimate. Okay, that's gone now.
He just needs a rest, you know?
Yeah, just for a bit.
He needs a little head pat, pick him back up, and you can send it once again. Now, importantly, CNED shuts down Trex once again, so it's again not an option. This is the eternal difficulty. Having Raze with Ulta.
CNED's loving life.
It's tough.
That aggression.
One way will come out again. They may try to fight through this one because Starkso, the flank, it's going to get shut down with the ultimate.
But he's done enough. He's lured out Navi out of that choke point, which Koi could have used to move forward.
The problem is they don't necessarily know all of that. There's still a one-way there. They heard Gecko util there at the start of the round, so they have to go for something different. Now, if they move into B here, a big difference between this and their other B hits, they don't have A main control, so they can't split in through Baby Door, and there's a much easier chance that Angel just shuts it down.
And also, Coldamenta can't die. He's got an headshot. Oh, I felt the caster's curse right through my bones there. He's at 5 points of health. Angel trying to stay alive. He's able to sidestep it. Gets a lot of attacks, which gives information from Shadows to move forwards, but ends up falling either way.
There's goo on his screen.
Just on the case. Starkso trying to give his team a chance to move into this. But still, Starkso in the smoke. Can be deadly, but he's alone. Shorty. Oh, valiant effort.
All right, 9-3 curse, maybe? 9-3 curse, maybe?
Just shuts him down completely.
Maybe?
Navi. What a have to bounce back after a little bit of a shaky Ascent. Koi definitely got the better of them right there, but 9 on the defense. Had to claw a few rounds away with some shenanigans, but at the end of the day, I think we've seen incredible play. Zipan, especially the Sugetsu, it's been nuts.
The pace from Navi is definitely better, right? You could see a lot of confidence, being able to pressure their opponents. There were a lot of moments that Koi were questioning the play. It felt like it was a much more unknown field for Koi, right?
Yeah.
Something they never rehearsed, something that they never really practiced against. The way that Navi was playing, it felt strange to Koi.
I think, no doubt, Koi do have experience on the map, but the problem is, like, only one thing really worked out for them. They realized,
yeah, I mean, how do you...
Okay, C-hits are just almost impossible with all the util being sent onto
My
us.
question is, if you're
actually
Koi,
kind of got danced around the map a little
and
bit,
you
the
pick Lotus,
really
how do you look so awful
one play that worked for them,
and unorganized?
Right, working in through Baby Door onto the site, that looked pretty solid, all things
Unless
considered.
they were just expecting to be able to strong arm themselves on a C, because their C takes were a little bit cleaner, but it was not pretty.
This round. It got stolen away from us somehow.
And that set them back economically, which crumbled them even further, losing even greater advantages. And it's just put them in a greatly disadvantageous spot. 9-3, far from optimal, but now they're the ones on the defense.
Yeah, and yeah, they're moving over to defense. Yeah. Also, like, 9-3, that's just 6 rounds different, guys. Like, Valorant is a very quick game. Things can turn around very, very quickly, for sure. Especially if you kick off this pistol on the right foot for Koi. But, I mean, I'm just really curious to see what their approach to the map is going to be, because obviously they don't have the Viper in their composition, so a little bit less in terms of the overall stall that they are going to have at their disposal. But they do have the Breach, they do have the Raze, so some more options for early aggressive plays.
Dude, why is it that Valorant's, like, music scoring is so far and beyond better than almost any other esport that we watch, man.
The fluctuations in play here.
I don't care if it's NA Challengers, lock-in. Like, their music scoring is always on point.
If you think about FPX, the previous iteration of this roster, right? I mean, pretty much the same core, apart from artists being in the seat of CNED. They always switch things up. That was their game plan. It was pretty much difficult to prep against this team.
I feel like this team is always playing like meta adjacent a lot of the time. Like they play a lot of the things that are really good, and then Angel's like, yeah, but this is an Omen map actually. When everyone's playing, you know, the Astra or something like this. I really like the creativity and the way it forces you to kind of rethink the way you play a lot of your games, and especially like the Gecko. I don't think I've been super impressed by overall, but it is another layer that more recent Agent coming out does play very differently to a lot of the other initiators.
It's definitely got Koi scratching their heads. This one took a while for them to figure it all out, and it seems
hold
that they couldn't
hold on.
do it.
Sorry, there's a door open in the arena. I can literally see the corner of the Gecko boba truck, and I'm so jealous right now. I think we have a boba truck here.
A boba truck?
And really, being in the studio is so sick, man.
Well, I know where I'm going after this game.
Yeah. We'll invite Pansy and Hypoc up here after this one.
Yeah, they can do all the talky stuff. We can go drink a boba. And that's what you guys can do at home. Well, not at home, but if you're doing it in the Coliseum.
Oh, no. Getsu's playing on the cringe angle, but he loses.
Scanning ahead. The cringe angle.
Yeah, I feel like any sort of like pixel tiny angle. Oh, no. Oh, no. Someone's like, my guy, how did you lose that fight? You're supposed to see them, and they're not really supposed to see you.
Trex steps up. I think he heard the criticism of the previous half, and now stepping up to the plate. Another kill going his way. Now, A-Site sort of opened up, and I feel like Koi are happy to give this land over. Obviously, with the numbers, they're a little bit more comfortable to play the retake here.
Yeah, ooh. This wall, I'm pretty sure that wall is meant to block off Heaven right there. Maybe a little bit low.
All right, 9-3.
Angel just trying to see if
Koi still up with the man advantage here.
Again, this has been a constant back to Ascent. When they get numbers on defense, they play very heads up D. Grouping up together, being in positions where they can trade one another, abandoning the site. Doesn't matter if Navi plant the spike right here. Yeah, you know, maybe you deny him an orb, maybe you deny him a little bit of money, but realistically, Koi are playing for round wins here. That's the only thing that matters.
And they read into exactly what Navi wanted to do there. Cause pressure onto Koi on the post-plant setup, but no, that doesn't even end up happening. Wolfen is good to hold on, and Trex triples up. Shout.
It's all right, though. I mean, even with a pistol, 9-5, you know, obviously not a big deal.
Give it a spray across, find some low players, but that shall not happen. A flawless pistol round to get Koi started off well on the second half.
Yeah, that's the way to do it right there for Koi. And I think I wonder how much we'll see, because obviously this one opened up with a couple of picks, just the Sheriffs finding value. So I do wonder. Oh my God, that's actually.
Did we get that freeze frame as well? Just to.
Yeah. Just hold on it for a little bit of an extra second, and there you can actually see the wall not blocking off Heaven. Does give an extra angle to shut down and make that a very, very clean retake for Koi.
We haven't actually seen any second round buy so far, have we?
Hold on a second.
Wait, PewDiePie is running all of his YouTube videos?
Yeah, Starkso is rocking
on Twitch, bro. That's epic.
And the Vandal right here, just maybe making him go a little bit broke, but that means you can't maintain the one-ways. You can see he's playing for mount. He has the one, but now is in a position where if he falters here, that could be bad news.
He's out of harm's way. At least for this moment, no more fights taken over, but it's definitely forcing Navi to tread lightly.
100%. Voldementa actually the only player with the Sheriff here. A little bit unfortunate that he has to be in the situation to fight aggressively forward. Using
Four of them there just sitting and waiting though.
The third coming around the wall. But they may end just going for the spam and falling back, because again, having the Sheriff there as your only ability to trade out the rifle, not ideal. They'd rather regroup, get Shados involved with the Spectre to fight back.
Shao. Only man trying to cause commotion towards the C site, maybe to lure more players in, make the endeavor a little bit simpler for Navi on the other side. But no, sort of leading the charge actually and calling for his teammates to rotate over to him.
He's like, guys, I have C site. He's not actually in C site. It's like, no, we still have to fight our way through this.
So they're going to have, what, 2 rifles here? No? Killjoy leaving.
Oh, this paranoia.
Oh, brother.
And
okay, well, they only got 1 kill off it.
But again, Koi,
That could have been a lot uglier.
Just hold back, stay chill.
It's kind of sad that Smoke, I think, actually cost Starkso a kill or two. Obviously, going for it is the right call, just for the extra stall, and now they're moving into Killjoy Util. This is not fun.
Clean, very clean. Could it be two simultaneous? Well, one after the other, flawless rounds. Yeah, it's going to be just that.
All right. Like I said, you lose the 2 rounds, not too big of a deal. 9-5, you're still up 4 here.
For us this time around?
You're here on offense. You only need 4 plants.
Theoretically,
plenty attainable.
A comp like this, especially moving over to the attacks, you have far less tools than perhaps the Koi would have with a raise to dive into a site. You don't have that ability to quickly close the gap, apart from CNED. But that teleport obviously takes you a long time to actually pull your gun out after that. So the util has to be there. They've got a lot of flashes to work with, a lot of ways to reduce the lines of sight with the double smokes. But it is Lotus. It comes down to a main control. And actually not much of a fight from Koi to battle back into that area this time around, surprisingly enough.
What's interesting about Koi is that they're one of the teams in EMEA that hasn't had much presence in the offseason. They only had 1 match in lock-in. So it's, yeah, obviously a team that you don't know much of.
Yeah, especially when it comes to Lotus. Don't have anything, really.
Navi so far on defense seem to have them well figured out, at least playing their own game, and it was sufficient.
I was saying, I mean, Navi's played a little bit. I don't think we've seen anything on Koi, right?
Thus far, but now have to find their way back in. And this is the round to do it, right? You've got guns. Now on this Logitech power-up round. Fundamenta through.
Nice.
Shao deals with him.
That's
Still,
so cheeky to be able to plant with that thing, bro.
Right back to play with setups.
Yeah, they've got so much post-plant utility. Also the forward positions from CNED. And Shao could be massive here. You don't expect him there.
So
Playing with the verticality, and he gets a second!
CNED delivers. Shados eventually take him down. But he's done all the damage necessary. Now with a post-plant setup that Navi have, it's just near impossible. Nanoswarm delaying even further. Trex trying to find his entry here, trying to find a way into this.
Man.
But it's just not that easy. Navi,
there you
with
go.
the first buy of this half, are able to solidify a victory.
Oh, I love that. The forward positions. Kind of gambling going off of those. And but still, CNED is able to find 2 off of that box. Absolutely.
All right, so if we go to split,
I think we're going
to
to
either. I don't think either of these teams saw split at lock-in, did they?
Leading up to it, because the post-plant util is absolutely going to be raining down.
Koi probably didn't, right?
No retakes at all.
We only had the 1 game.
Great start from Navi.
Oh my God.
I don't think Navi's seen split. Let me double check that though. Yeah, they haven't seen split either.
I'm sorry, we have to freak out because we just got a boba delivery up to the caster desk. So thank you so much to the staff on the ground here. That is absolutely huge. We're gonna take a timeout so we can take a little sip.
Thank you, teams, for letting us have a sip from our boba.
What up, San Diego?
Cool. Thank you very much for that.
This is fantastic.
This is great.
I think like the only reason that I would have stayed in LA to cast NA, it would have been for the boba, but you know, even we've got that here. We've got literally everything.
We got boba? We got everything I need.
Best duos.
You went there already?
Yeah. Well, look, first date and it's already working for me.
Yeah. Maybe we can pan out to the window to show everybody our bobas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's nice. It's also gecko themed. Gotta love it.
Cheers, everybody.
All right, Koi, calling a timeout. They've been the timeout champions of today, okay?
Yeah.
They've called 2 timeouts so far, won both rounds immediately after the timeouts.
All right.
And now on defense, what's it going to be? Because I see Breach and Raze next to each other. I expect immediate action possibilities. Trex pushed up very far forward into the smoke looking for the spam. But not only skirt this entirely, they are going to be going straight into the Killjoy meat grinder. And even if they pivot away and open door to go into C, there's still CNED there, or sorry, still Starkso there with the
he's going to enter through?
Oh man, CNED gets way too comfortable pushing into the spawn and shut down.
Look at that, another time the little chunky monkey gets to enter in.
Massive paranoia, catches out 3, but still ends up dropping. Angel on the sidelines delivering. Navi on top.
They're
defusing. Have they learned their lesson? It's defused. Spike defused. And Navi are on top yet again.
Interesting.
Well, Koi won the round.
Yeah,
Koi literally stole the play out of Navi's book, right? Navi were like, hey, we can just full stick while, you know, chaos is raining around us. Koi do it this time around. Doesn't even matter if Navi run out with stronger numbers.
I just don't understand, man. I feel like you could do so many more productive things with your life, my game.
Site, similar to like
instead of continuing to come in here and annoy me.
That site very small unless you're
And also what I don't get is
not the best
like
sight lines to try and kill
why me?
diffusers. Here though, looking for
you know what I mean?
similar A main aggression.
You could probably like fascinate yourself over people who are so much cooler than me.
Also have the one-way extra layer on layer on layer, but it costs you a lot for that control.
What's funny is I knew who you were. I keep giving you chances if you actually want to be a part of the community. You know what I mean?
Go get him. Showed early presence to B, which has caused a lot of rotations from Koi, but they
nice rotation here into C.
Kind of caught them off guard. Angel, even though he's paranoid, just walks through, presses trigger 1, presses W. He's into the site, and he's let his entire team move into that as well.
Ooh. Starkso, just a pixel.
Bro, how is Starks not getting hurt by this at all?
The end of the world, and the spike has been playing with 5 players alive. That is huge.
But look at this, Koi is starting to win out one of the trades. Angel gets 1, drops, but Koi on top of this, on top of the action, but they need to get the spike defuse. Strex.
I don't know what it is, man. It's weird. Bro's been following me around since the Mixer days, man.
Being rained upon by players.
It's just so strange.
Koi will be able to get the defuse.
I am happy about the fact that over here on
YouTube, you thought maybe it can he
can't annoy you guys in the DMs the way he does, or tried to over on Mixer and Twitch.
Had the ace earlier in the round. They lost a 3K right there.
As much as I don't mind, you know, deleting his messages and banning him and stuff, what's really annoying is knowing that he can just be literally harassing people in DMs on Twitch, and Twitch hasn't done anything about it.
Who's going to be on what role? Because we have already seen just in 2 maps with these 2 teams a lot of mix and match, plug and play in who's actually.
It's just strange. I would figure after. I mean, literally at this point, it's been 3 years.
You can definitely tell.
You would think at some point, little homie would want to actually do something productive with his life. You know what I mean?
Timeout each half.
Like it's very clear you're not going to make me quit.
10-7. Whoever runs off with
and the fact that I went from Mixer to Twitch to become partnered, and now that I'm casting up other places, like we're bound to grow our channel here. Like there's nothing that coming in here and saying, bust my butt, Roadie Bush, my crotch. Like that's not going to do it. You're literally wasting your time. I just don't get it.
So perhaps being like,
it's very
maybe we can bait out the utility, fight back into it with all the flashes we have. The crowd's getting a little bit of extra encouragement down there on the stage. You'll love to see it.
All right, so Koi coming back a little bit here. It's now 7-5.
Is it?
2023. Wow.
Fancy that.
A Coliseum in 2023. Revolutionary.
Coliseum of the future.
And we have a ceiling.
That's crazy. What is the rain? Just fill in.
Yeah, it's important. It was snowing earlier today,
snowing
actually.
Today.
Might be sunny on Lotus,
10 degrees and sunny. Weird.
Berlin weather is nuts.
I just realized I never turned down the sound after the in-between games with the interview, but I'm guessing the game hasn't been too loud since no one said anything, so we'll vibe.
Both based on
chill.
Site executes and post plants, and they do it again. So far, you know, they've started to gain the number of NAVI. Troubled with these trades. NAVI this time showing some early presence to the left-hand side, but are quickly traversing again towards
It's interesting because I feel like when we watched this map during lock-in, it seemed like C was
a lot more waiting here. It's still 2 kills.
Angel got caught. Shao trying to help out. He died as well.
Excuse me?
And now we're looking at a big numbers advantage here for Koi.
Wow, a timing attack into A main right there. I think called off of the Koi members on C being like, hey, it's been quiet here. I think they've actually rotated off.
But Trex is really close to this. He's trying to punish them with that disadvantage they have. They're taking the fight to them. Massive. 8 on the board, 2 away from NAVI.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you just called it timeout versus Koi. Are you trolling?
Yeah, it's a timeout buff again, right?
Yeah. That one, I think, a little bit more reacting actually on the fly than credible, you know, discussing what they're doing in the 60 seconds. But I'm almost positive that play of the breach ult has to come from the A or the C players that are like, hey, it's been 20 seconds, nothing's happened. They're either about to hit us or they are on.
All right, so if we look back at our econ down here, after this round,
so
they'll be able to buy. But if they drop 2 rounds, it's going to be 10-10 and they're going to be reset.
Koi's performance, I think when you play against him, you always need to think of that.
Oh, that looked like it was going to be a monster shock dart, but I don't actually think it ended up clipping anyone.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah.
4 players over towards A, but again, similar to the last round, they show their presence, they back away. And to get to completely isolated, just Sheriff in hand, they're going to dodge away again. Koi trying to maintain their numbers advantage for as long as they can.
Yeah, too many bullets were flying towards his position there. It was impossible for him to hold down the fort. It feels like Navi are trying to hold him to a 4 because Koi is just pushing them left, right.
That's hella dope, man. I know you've been grinding your ass over there on Valorant. You've been really
they end up
fucking popping off, man. I know I don't talk a lot when I come over and chill. Normally this is like the end of my day, but
towards B, Mosh Pit sent. Wolfman can't stick around. Eastside slowly, meticulously moving in. Snakebite delivered. Look how fast Cena is pushed though.
Wingman's gonna plant, but Shadows has full util for the retake. This could come in quickly, but he falls.
The fact that Cena was so far forward, it was so impactful, so crucial. And he's still doing the dirty business behind that poison cloud. Now Lotus delivered. Trex on the back foot. Koya turning things around here. Koya really doing numbers on Navi right now. Starkso with that shorty doing the world of hurt. And that's it.
Granted, they didn't have full rifles there, so that's not a huge surprise. But you have 3 rifles still in hand for Koi.
Oh yeah, Koi mounting the comeback here. Only dropping a single round on this defensive half. They have had an answer to everything Navi has thrown
Chat,
at them.
just a reminder, if Koi sweeps here,
the pit is going down,
because I was kind of expecting this to go 3 games. But we're only going to be watching the first matchup over here. I got an interview with the co-CEO of Leave No Witness at 4:30. So
I can't believe more teams aren't using the shorty that much. Yeah. It's just so strong.
I love it. I love it as a little secondary option there. Pull it away, play the tight.
Plus, if I can be honest,
oftentimes
I'm kind of expecting
anyway, so
the second game to be kind of a blowout. Great, I was expecting this one to be close too. So who knows? I mean, it's kind of VCT, I guess, but.
Treasure. Yeah. Why?
It was a Skyrim quote.
Oh,
don't worry about it.
Sorry.
Yep. Sorry, we're down the rabbit hole on that one.
Yeah. It's a new duo. We'll figure out each other's nerd influences. We'll get there.
That's a big one for me. All right, let's see what Koi can do here on the retake. Because again, they're not playing entrenched on A. They're playing Heaven, they're playing Rope, they're playing too fast retake as their main option. And Trex has ultimate too, so Shadows can double flash do everything, but having Wingman really stops the ability for the fast retake to come in because you don't have to commit multiple members
to the plan. Yeah, that's a good point.
He's a 6 player of Navi.
Hasn't really been helping on their offensive side, though.
Look how far he's pushing. Seen it. Oh, he's able to strafe away from that, but no running away from Trex's showstopper. Zipan into the lockdown. But no, look at the lockdown has to run away from it. Watford is detained, which means it's a 2v3 fight for a while. And will Navi be able to take advantage of this? Zipan will do that. Shados delivering smoke.
He's defusing.
It's diffused halfway, but they take the fight in the end, and they come.
Wow.
They've made the comeback.
Econ's reset.
Equal footing with Navi.
All evened up
yeah.
in the
I'm on East Coast.
10-10. And it's Trex finding 2 kills with that showstopper. Great pathing here into tree. And oh no, CNET TP straight into his teammate.
Roll it back.
Out here in good old PA, man.
9-3.
Yep.
In this half, Navi have only won 1 round.
That's why I think I was saying yesterday, I'm thinking about trying to get down to DC for the 2K League event this weekend because it's only a couple-hour drive from me.
Look, it's the first match of the season. What does it mean? I don't know, but come on. Koi, they're the underdogs, clearly.
I mean,
clearly.
I know it doesn't really mean anything, but I think it's cool just to win the first match here in the Coliseum. Here, EMEA, VCT, after the partnership came down, like, these are teams we're going to be seeing for a while. Faces, players we're going to be seeing all through this year.
And it's a single round robin on the regular season, right? You don't get to play against the other team twice. So
are they bringing new casters in for
we say
RLCS? I see people announcing that. I haven't
also VCT here, man.
Seen I know there's VCT, but I have to shout out Koi because the entire Koi roster last weekend actually rolled up to LEC to cheer on their fellow teammates. They're playing on the stage over there, so super cool, I think, to see some camaraderie between the sports, between the titles, and now to see them mounting a comeback to potentially just 2-0, wrap this one up quick.
Speak of that, remember? Simpla's here.
Yeah, that's a little bit cooler than anything, I think. Absolutely love it.
Double digits across the board.
All right, 10's up. And I was wrong. Navi can buy here. But if Navi doesn't buy here, or if Navi doesn't win this round here, their Econ's in a lot of trouble.
That one out to get the cooldown back. It's actually very important and just a very strong scouting tool, I think. We've seen Xiao use that a couple of times, just trying to clear out areas. Not so much as the power of, oh, I initiated, you know, I CC'd you, I locked you down, anything like this. No, just using it to clear that one out and reactivate later on.
Navi, okay, they've got The main control of A site early. Of course, they haven't pushed up
Line
too
up.
far forwards.
All right,
Where's the
download that
Master
one.
going?
My Twitter friends.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Making
That,
sure
of
no
course,
one's holding that.
Yeah, to punish, you know, Trek satcheling there or Stark
Stark,
teleporting.
Exactly.
The Omen TP up to top rebel.
I mean, that's what Cena
so
did
much.
numerous times.
Yeah.
So dealing with that.
All right.
Cool. But they spend a lot of time doing that, right? They haven't really gained all that important ground.
Look at the
Only 40
defense, the way it's like swaying back and forth up here.
Played for the C orb. Now they can maybe get an A and eventually split into B. So
Why
much
would you
scouting here.
lead
The
with B?
Skydog too. They've been able to get all over this site without taking any engagements.
Coldamenta, he's detained. Can he get killed?
Somebody get him.
No one's
It's only
going after
5
him.
seconds. He's gonna be fine.
Oh, Wolfen on the back line. Only able to find one still. Shados on the fight. Koya doubles up. Zipan and Suigetsu on the hot seat. How are you going to deal with this one? Suigetsu managed to get Navi out of so many difficult positions. You're going to have to do it again. Flashed once again. Spike touched. Oh, the spike is touched. You know what that means? It's being diffused and it's being held. No one can see him and cannot stop him.
Wow.
Koi not only have been able to catch up with Navi, now they're to the lead, and Suigetsu.
Okay, so they did get the last rifle, but he did make that a rather expensive round, but it won't matter. They should be able to plenty buy over here on Koi.
Koi just cannot be stopped on this defensive half. And Navi have to find an answer because they've gone for this B plant multiple times, but they can't hold the post, and it comes down to A-Link.
I'm all right, Smox. I appreciate you, though.
Koi have been beating them in A-Link, and if you don't, as the attackers, maintain control over that area, you don't get to retake the site once you abandon it. You have to play forward. You have to be able to entrench yourself in main and in A-Link. Otherwise, you see what you saw there. They can't shoot the diffuser. There's 4 players alive, and they're just completely trapped without a line of sight onto the spike.
Navi looking to go for something quick towards the C site potentially, but no, it's Koi setting up a little bit of a
look at that!
to see. Rolling Thunder, they've done this before, and they capitalize upon it. They find 2, and the return of 1.
Ooh, big pick from Angel in mid as well. All of a sudden, this round just going completely Navi. I really like the play from Koi, but it doesn't matter. The kills were not enough outside of C.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting here because you do have Xiao hurt. CNED's about 2/3 life.
They know where he is. That's the unfortunate part for him.
Shock not going to do anything. A little low on that. He was firing them through smoke, so a little bit hard to judge.
All right, all tied up here.
And Navi back.
And I was mistaken. I thought that Navi wasn't going to be able to buy there, but they were able to.
The thing is, even if Navi get this, they're not going to do much to the economy of Koi because they've won so many rounds in a row, right? 6 consecutive rounds. That put them in a really strong position. 5 guns, you've got the operator out as well.
And honestly, with the new, like, we still have multiple light armors on players, like, economy discourses is kind of fake in this day and age. You almost always are going to have enough to fight, especially into these final 2 rounds.
We saw 2 defensive, aggressive Rolling Thunders this game. And you can definitely see how much impact it has when you have info on the push.
All right, big round coming here.
They're playing quiet for control here, and it's punished.
Faking out the long hole.
That's got a lot of damage there, though. That should help Koi out.
The 18-year-old battling out for his life, but he's been able
There's
to
still strong arm in A here, huh?
Look at this ultimate. CNED went straight into the middle of A site, but they still have to get past Shados here.
They're definitely switching up the pace here. 2 different corners
wow,
that Shados have to deal with.
What a play by Shados.
Starks are now alone. Navi are winning the trades finally, and they're actually going to put themselves on map point.
The timing on the swing there, too, punishing
Or not
Shados. That angle, a really
CNED.
tough one to be
I'm an idiot.
Maybe fightable if the enemy team misplays. Not Navi. They have locked it down. And it's going to be them on match point, even after Koi carried so much momentum throughout this half. Navi have been able to stabilize.
Being able to stop that tempo from increasing from Koi was so important.
Yeah, 2 rounds in a row, right? The previous one, it was the breach ult, right? That didn't end up paying off quite as much as you wanted.
So now Navi up 1.
Right there, kind of a unique attempt from Koi, just creeping up A main, as opposed to unloading so much utility that you would normally see to control over towards Rebel. And I kind of like the idea as an off strategy, but it ends up getting punished, and Navi are going to have to try and replicate some of this success.
This feels like another one of those situations, kind of like last game in the sense, right? Like we saw
we're put in a situation where
Navi started to build a little momentum in the back half, or in the second half, but they'd allow Koi to build too much of a lead. Kind of feels similar here.
To me now is that Koi, you know, from this particular match we've seen and from the past as well, can be very slow with their approaches, can take their time, can run off the clock. And with Navi's aggression, I feel their thought behind this is gonna put them in that direction even further.
So what I want to see here from Navi, right? 2 big ultimates on either side, but they nullify each other. Cold Dementia can just cancel the lockdown with the Hunter's Fury. So what Navi can do to try and play into B if they do want to, fight for C control first, bust down Baby Door, and then leave someone entrenched over by Big Door, right? The turning one next to Rebel. And then you can sort of pinch into the back as Koi try to recreate.
I kind of wish I would have been able to see the
could also just force
Coach Harbaugh
because if they find the kill onto Sova, that
interview
opens up so
today.
many opportunities.
I'll have to look that up on YouTube.
That happen. You can see the second he's spotted out, run to the hills. He's in spawn. There's no way he's going to give a fight over. There's no way he's going to lose that ultimate.
He knows its value. Smart thinking. Na'Vi moving towards his A side. Koi, don't quite know this, obviously. Without pushing forwards, without spending utility to finding that information, you're not going to have it.
Na'Vi don't want to split into door.
So they are, it looks like a little more committed to expecting it on A. I mean, you can even see Star is rotated a little bit through that
try to get that. Oh, man.
door. Well, it was rotating back towards
Didn't look
C.
like the pen was happening on that. The attempt was made nonetheless.
You can actually feel the pressure mounting.
Oh, Wingman got shot.
Nice
That's
job.
Really big. Now
really well.
fight on
Nice.
stage.
Trex gets one.
And with the aftershock, you can't quite get to it. And when you're out into the open, you're in the mercy of Trex.
Cold Dementia still has ultimate too. They're all going to try to shut
it down. What a play by Trex.
Uses Hunter Fury, and they've done so much. Na'Vi on a difficult spot. 1 player remaining. Zipan cannot do it. And we're going to OT. Second map of VCT EMEA, and we're going to overtime.
Let's go, baby.
EMEA just does it better. It's never a boring day here in the Coliseum. And oh my word, the shorty, the base shorty secondary user.
You sure about that?
If you're nearsighted by the Omen, he is right in there with that one, shutting it down. A fantastic
I don't know if I'm sure about that.
On the plant from Koi.
About this whole EMEA doing it better. I'm pretty sure EMEA had the worst record at lock-in, just saying.
And now he's really stepped up. He's found his comfort. He's not afraid of going in their faces very quickly, even when things don't seem to be in their favor that much. I'm loving this confidence.
Yeah, and what we're going to need to see from him now, because Koi, return over to the attack. Koi were really slow, right? Back on Ascent a little bit, also here. Now playing a little bit differently. Trex is getting involved because, again, Navi has so many fantastic stall tools to stop you from hitting a site late in the round. So I like seeing a little bit more off the rep.
See if Koi can bring back a little bit of their...
Sort of posted himself back Rebel at the time being. And the rest of the team, I'm really curious what it is they end up doing. Because now with the bird not actually spotting Trex, Trex could look to creep. That's why what I expect him to do. You can see him slowly maybe working it up. He could be the late, backstab if they were to commit into a B hit, but I actually don't think that's going to be the case. They may end up trying to sell it a C hit and then move back into Trex.
Of course, remember, if we have anybody watching that doesn't watch too much Valorant, you're...
Ooh, even if it did, Trex was so close.
Orbs reset each round in overtime.
1-for-1 should be good enough, but at least
as does your econ.
Na'Vi that there's no more players other than Trex there.
But here's the full rotate, right? I think they were going for exactly what I was saying, right? They wanted to move into A, but because they ended up losing Trex, instead, it'll be a bit of a B look. You can see they're worried perhaps about a late flank coming in from that A side. What is Shadow?
30 seconds left.
And try to stall here with the mosh pit.
Yeah, he's definitely going to do that.
Not if he gets blinded.
Nope, it's okay though. They don't.
Should be an easy plant.
They do get the
Shell!
But he's still able to
I was gonna say they don't know he's there.
Still close. Angel trying to get into the fight without any utility. Scratch starts with a paranoia.
Easy for Koi. Oh, it's Navi. Sorry.
Take it on. I will be ahead at the first round of OT.
Fantastic paranoia flying on in there and giving little bro the defuse as well. You love to see it coming on in. For Navi, back on match point once again to try and force us to split. And a little bit of all the new stuff today. But Navi were so unsuccessful on their attacking half. Both teams really struggling to get anything done there. I think you can see maybe a little bit why. It's very hard to hold in the post plants, especially on this B site. Again, was trying to...
Chat, let's also, so tomorrow going to be a busy day of watch parties over here, y'all. We're going to have VCT EMEA, we're going to do both games, and then we're going to go right from that into NA Challengers.
look, for both of these teams, the defense has been the strongest, so it's no surprise that Navi pick up their defensive round. It's a matter of who wins out their attacking round first that will make the difference.
Oh, man. Angel gets away. A little bit too close for comfort right there. Actually, seeing the paranoia coming through from Starks, though, that could signal the hit into the C side because that's the main stall tool that Koi have been using. Koi's Killjoy setup, I think every round has been on B, and the paranoia from Bend has been the only way to shut down this hit super reliably.
Their only way of stopping the C site push is with a smoke and the crossfire setup of Starks and Wolfen.
Contact in, I love it. Oh, no!
Talk about the crossfire setup. Wolfen straight away sets it up. Spike will be going to get planted.
All right, so Koi's out.
The shot kill. How did that even happen? Koi on top. Do not allow Navi move in. Not a fly, not a player.
And then we'll see how I'm feeling tonight for Apex Challengers.
Koi will square things up. 13 to 13.
I don't want to make any promises for late nights because, as Oogie will tell you, I'm an old man.
13, this goofy little.
Even though he's technically older than me, but I act like an old man, so.
Just smiling at me. I absolutely love it. But again,
he's younger at heart, you know?
Who can manufacture a win on attack, like you were saying previously. I'm expecting Navi to perhaps have some C aggression once again, but we're going to take a bit of a breather. We've had a lot of those this half.
We have, and I think more often than not, Koi's been actually benefiting from them quite a bit, right?
So is this a Koi timeout, looks like?
Maybe it'd be good
like
to
actually timeout?
Later on, as well, of how impactful they've been after these timeouts, because they really have, right? We've seen on multiple occasions when we get the cams onto the coaches, Baba, he's very animated in the way he thinks of the game. He's very animated when his team is not doing what he wants them to do, or when they succeed. He's got quite a big say on what this team does behind the scenes.
For sure. And I think it's the right call, calling the timeout before you move into the attack, right? You're trying to come up with something a little bit clever, maybe a little bit different, something that'll work for you. Hey, Berlin! Make some noise!
All right, let's go! All right, let's go. I want Koi. Back to back. Let's see it.
Never mind, I'm going to let them start.
Yeah, they're just going to keep it going.
Yeah.
High energy crowd today. Gotta love it. And now, what will it be? So I always am looking at Raze and Breach. Where are they? Where are they holding hands? It's very cute, especially when you get over to the tree. But this time around, it is going to be the forward TP from CNED, top Rebel. More play up towards B. This again gets problematic with all the stall tools Navi have at their disposal.
There's so much for Navi here. Paranoia.
Ooh, they force him off though. That's huge.
Oh.
Nice one, but Starks is already onto the side. Delivers onto Suigetsu. Great positions. Tries to surprise Angel, but isn't able to do so. But it's caused enough time for his team to move into the
great job for them to get into C though.
1-for-1 is good enough. It pulls the rotations from Waterfall. Spike will be planted, and they can try to play forward on site. Playing off site has been a problem for them, so 3 entrenched.
They're switching things up, that's for sure. Navi need to find their way back in. They've got 2 entrances into this site. They need to balance the timing right.
No smokes to block off CT though. That's gonna hurt.
Well, CNED moving a little bit forwards without his team flashed out. Koi definitely going to delay this right here, right now. Not going to drop back to pay for the denial of the defuse. Instead, Angel walks forwards, Coldamenta trading it right out. So to the right side, makes an appearance for Navi, starts to win it through. Shados tries to save the day, but he cannot do it. And little bro gets his defuse yet again.
Navi successful in the retake. Huge that they only allowed Starkso to get the 1 kill on the B site when this guy was going every which way. He was living in the Matrix, teleporting around that site, up, down, and around. But now the same task given over to Navi once again, and look at that. Again, this is exactly what you need to be doing, figuring something out. Honestly, if I'm Koi, I'm talking about what our next attack is going to look like here. Forget the defense.
Well,
why is Navi calling a timeout?
That's exactly what Navi are trying to do, right? Try to win
after winning a round.
This is the second time they find themselves onto this match point, maybe even 3, right? And, you know, when you're given so many opportunities to close out a map, you know, statistically, at some point that opportunity is going to come to you and they're going to take it.
Oh, yeah. And remember, too, the pressure is absolutely on Navi, right? They are down in this series after losing Ascent. Yes, they have match point, but they have to fight bitterly for this just
Aiden
for the right
stepping away from Warzone now, too, huh? Well, Warzone is hurting.
This has been a fantastic way to kick off opening day here for the EMEA VCT.
All right, let's go.
Let's keep it going a little bit longer. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, why not? When it's epic Valorant, that's what we came to see, right?
Look, I was promised. I saw Pansy and Hypoc, they always got to have the delays. They got to talk longer, you know, which they love, you know? And then they got these insane OTs, the Mitch and Tom OTs. I just want a little bit of all of that, you know?
All in your first session.
Steal it all. Here we go, though. Not going to be the A main fight. Instead, again.
So does that mean all the normal,
Solid as a rock,
and I say normal like VCT casters, including Pansy and Hypoc, are they all going to be on the American broadcast? Is that right?
Any utility, because oftentimes I think Navi have used multiple flashes, the Sky Flash, the Gecko Flash as well, to try and get in.
The inability of Navi to kill him has definitely been substantial. Like, him being alive in those latter stages and causing so much pressure on this side of the map is giving so much info and room for the rest of the team to move as they please.
Typical protocol.
It looks like it.
Here, using the drone around 110. As teams are sort of gearing up before the reset of cooldowns comes in. At the minute mark, 55 seconds usually.
And to be fair, most of the utility hasn't been used from...
No, Mitch Man's going to be over there.
It's been
Hypoc's also over there, okay.
Oh! Rex, I didn't even spot that. Fantastic. Switching into the op for the first time. It's the 28th round, and you face against Koi's op for the first time.
But this could be the best decision here for Koi, right? For Na'Vi, rather.
Sure.
Because there's only one defending that C site. And Starkso can only have a paranoia to try and delay this.
Yeah, but they do reveal with the utility, so it stalls out for a little bit.
Only hits one of the players. Starkso has to move out. They're going to play this for the retake, but is it going to be good enough? Because giving so much leisure to Na'Vi is going to be tough to deal with in the long term.
Dude, hearing the wingman walk is...
everything to fight with. Trex has the paint shells too. It's a trade.
Starkso really wants that fight, but has to pay for it as he falls right after that. Wolfen into the fight. Will he walk into the smoke? Oh, it's uncomfortable. With a spike going down, all the attacking players get back into safety, but not in the safety against Wolfen. Suigetsu, he's hiding. He's sneaky boy.
What a rat. What a rat!
They don't know he's there. Wolfen finds him. He slips him out.
Wow.
And Koi will win
another round of overtime, chat. Woo.
This is the map that just won't stop. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Trex coming in. I can hear our colleagues, the Spanish casters on the opposite side of us, going absolutely nuts here as Wolfen ties things up and forces us into another OT. Absolutely nuts. Good reaction from Wolfen to shut that down, spotting him out in just the corner of his eye.
Ooh. All right, 14-14.
Now,
it seems that it's been the defense scoring the points here, right? So if Koi can put one on the board here.
Keep giving Na'Vi all these chances to close out this map. Look, they are essentially 2 rounds away from closing out this series.
Yep.
And what a massive first match of the season would this be?
Be absolutely huge. Bounce back after falling very early in the lock-in. And now, once again, similar to last round, Trex just implanted over by Rubble. The rest of the team going to run into similar issues here with all the utility. Actually trying to flush Xiao out there, just forcing through the smoke.
Xiao, how was he alive for so long? Gets one, finds info that the rest have moved into this. Zipan awaiting with a guiding light. He's going to move in with it.
They're going to go A.
That's so huge.
Look at this, they're going A.
They're going to the A side.
Trex was waiting on A this entire round. It was a fake into B. They're trying to pull the rotates off the site. There is Killjoy util here. It's stalling out, but there's plenty of time to put the spike on the ground and watch Starkso. Starkso is on the hunt.
He's going on the wraparound, but it seems that Angel is waiting for him.
Wraparound?
Angel
He's got to worry about the flank now.
Koi on the back foot, Na'Vi. They've got a job to do, and that's to defuse the spike. They're waiting for
Zipan's going to turn the corner and get the double.
They have no idea Zipan is here. Coldament is pushed so far forward. They're in position to try and trade off one another.
Guiding light, able to find one, isolating them. Trex with auto do! Suigetsu, yet again, shines above the rest. And Navi with another chance to close it.
Woo.
Both teams are just playing so fast and loose. The crazy decisions on the fly. Right there, Koi waiting to convert off of Trex's position on the A site. But it doesn't matter. It was the battle of the controllers. As you coined, Angel wins that out. It's a completely different game if Angel falls there. All of a sudden, the 2 remaining players on the defense would be wondering, okay, is this guy, reflanking us? Is he going just back towards main? Like, what is he doing? The pressure would have been too much, and that would have been the round that Koi would steal on the attack, but instead, it's Na'Vi back in the driver's seat once more.
Na'Vi need to take a step back, breathe, close this out like they know how to do.
They're going to fight here. If that dart had gotten a bit,
Now see if they can put points on the board on offense.
That instead, Trex is going to get so close to play off the
He's never
concuss.
done this before. This is going to surprise them. Oh, this is going to be
Oh,
huge.
look at
Avoid
that.
the flash. Oh, but
He couldn't
gets
catch him.
instead.
Oh!
To the side with a paranoia. Does a little damage, but no kill.
That setup was gorgeous, but the singular flash, I believe, from Zipan shut it down completely.
Trex,
What a play by
he's
Trex!
out. He's alive. He's
That was
done
brilliant.
his job.
He gets his and he runs. Koi, numbers advantage once again, expecting maybe the conversion into the B hit. But it's going to be Na'Vi slowly retracing their steps.
Wow. And again, Koi, they've got the numbers. Chill it out. Hold back. No reason to go for fights. They know what to do. They've done it so many times. Even when the pressure is on the highest point, they do the same thing.
Shadows has snuck all the way back to 3. That's a position I don't think they would expect. He gets the first one. It's absolutely there. The util raining
Wow.
down. It's a second kill for Shadows.
There it is. The Rolling Thunder.
And Na'Vi are routed.
Up they go into the sky, but nowhere they go towards
Paranoia
no
helped him a little bit.
spike into no man's land. And Koi just bound to close this out and take us to another round of overtime because that's what they know how to do. They've got this series in their sights and they want it to be
Paranoia,
their
nice, back down.
The paranoia available is able to get
It's
himself
actually a
out
really
of
smart
harm's
play.
way. Switches
Because
up
they
the
aren't going to
position.
expect him there. That's
Starting
so
up the
smart.
guard.
Wow.
Humongous. Koi,
Really well done.
square things up.
Round
Another
31.
shot into
Let's
another
go.
overtime.
The way Koi are piecing together some of these plays, fantastic. Showing a similar look to previously where they tried to contact up a little bit more, just use the dart to clear behind the smoke. And then Trex was in such a good position to play off of the concuss. The C4 didn't result in a kill because of good counter util on the opposite end. But after that, Shadows' reposition over towards Tree. Again, absolutely what you need from him to make that site just impenetrable.
All right, let's get a chat.
Who's going to win this attack?
We'll have to see because
Koi can win an attack round. They're going to put themselves in a really good position here. It seems to be where the problem
We
is.
saw a ton of fight for A main up until the very end of regulation, up until OT now.
That's going to keep them away. That gives them site control on the one side. Nice.
Should go ahead and go down. 4 players still in position to act.
You just have to worry about that backside.
If this is a round for Koi to win,
That
if
CT
there's
side.
a round for Koi to win, this has to be it, right? They don't drop a player. They've got the spike down.
They're far off site too, playing heavy for Mound. They have a drone late to try and clear in.
But all the stars have to align. This is not all of them. Angel starts off Trex. The player on site was dealt with quicker than he was ever dealt with before. And they're going to let
Oh, that's right. There's the little shit.
It
did get
shut
half.
down. It didn't get half. No, it didn't.
No.
They still have
Oh!
a lot of utility.
Oh, let's go, Koi!
Starzo! He's bringing the magic. Shot darts, nano swarms, bullets, lead.
That's it.
Oh, he's solo.
Oh, it's a
Bullets to
1v1?
do it, and the bullet will do just that.
Koi have done it. They won that round on attack.
Let's get it,
Pressure
baby.
mounting
This has been a good
for
game,
Na'Vi.
Tim. To be fair, especially
Look
this
back,
map
when was
has
the
been really
last time
good.
they won a round 23 on attack.
Oh,
Basically 10 rounds ago.
10 rounds ago.
they won the offense.
And now
They
they've
won the
gotta
round that
do it
matters.
again.
They just got to duplicate on D here.
The first attack round win of OT.
It's going to be a play again for A main. Breach raised, ready to go. The dart to clear on back here, but they fight him forward. Perfection from Na'Vi. They saw the read from the previous round. This time they don't give them any time to set up, and Angel wants another.
What a peek from Angel! They just make it look so simple. And now Na'Vi, all they need to do is close it out. Koi went in on attack. Na'Vi say, nah, we can do one better. We can make it look more comfortable and we can bring it to another round of overtime.
Oh man, even Sugetsu just threw a nerdy lineup onto where the spike could end up going a little bit later. Potentially just use that to clear off an awkward angle with the box, but they're gonna do their
There's
due
always
diligence.
tomorrow
No
for
close
projects
corners,
too.
nothing. They
I
use
would say that
volley
for
to
my
clear
end,
away.
but I know
This
tomorrow's
entire
gonna.
site, it is
To be
open.
fair,
Open
I
has to
haven't.
find
My
some
schedule's been getting busier and
form
busier. I
if it
gotta
comes through.
get a little bit busier about, or a little bit better, I think, about
Oh, go
scheduling
B.
some
I
of my
like
off
this
time.
too, the late Viper wall as
Paranoia.
well.
TP from Starzo. How many can he get? It's 2. He's done his job. Wolfen is required to do the same as Starzo did. Find 2 kills, but also get the spike defusal as well.
One molly for Angel. He's all the way back over towards the door switch.
He could potentially isolate them. They're not together. But the shorty at close proximity, he has to read it. He has to read it, and he does!
Oh!
But Angel swings on time! In retaliation, 16-16.
He saw him
Navi are
turn the
saying
corner.
no to that. They're in this game, and they want to take it to a third map.
It was the perfect read against Koi right there. Knowing exactly, Koi were trying to run back the exact same strat. This time, they didn't even throw down the Viper Q, right? The smoke didn't come in. They just ran out, blitzed into the front. Who needs util? One Sky Flash, we're probably going to be fine. Just giga-chatting it.
But wait, that was way too close for comfort.
It was close, but it's because these teams are so good.
All right.
So evenly matched now on Lotus. And as the more creativity comes out, as these teams are clawing away, attacking round wins, it just gets better and better.
Trex looking to go aggro. Starks are with him. We've seen this approach before. Navi playing their
This is good.
play.
They don't plant in pit, so they actually have an angle from B main. They also push forward towards CT.
Starks are not able to CP on time to find a different angle, but he's pushing with his team. Trex doubles up to even the field. Shower onto the site though. He's gained so much ground. And Koi no longer have free access to that spike.
7 seconds on that Gecko CD. Then they can try and get this diffuse underway. Trex has backed up so far. He's going to be the knife in the back if it works out. A trade's coming on through.
It's still close. Zipan coming out on top. Navi ahead. Shados. He's got only a stun to deal with.
Oh, what a play by Shados!
You absolute monster! Bails his team out. Bow to the king. 17 for Koi.
Literally asks for the standing ovation, screams off your feet at the very end. It couldn't be better with the smoke clearing. The double fault line hits.
Damn,
Shados
bro.
is unleashed today.
Oh, man.
And that's 3 attacking rounds in a
This
row.
is so tough.
It's a streak now.
It's a streak now, okay.
All right, Koi needs to be able to pull this off here now.
Ball from both Trex and Shados.
Wait, why was that deleted?
Round 34, but action is
Wait,
not
why were those
slowing
deleted? Hold on. What just happened?
Navi previously, in their round win, it was a B.
Why did Stream Elements just delete everything?
Looked really strong for them. And if they're able to bait out Starkzo's paranoia, that's what's opened up this season.
What did Stream Elements just do?
We'll just refresh the cooldown there on the blind. Kind of a pump fake here is what they need to get that paranoia without overcommitting and putting themselves in harm's way.
Koi definitely wary of Navi's presence.
So you're not banned, right?
The question is by how many players is this push enforced with?
It's true. Right now there's 4.
What just
Angel
happened?
playing in mid. Angel has the option. He throws down the wall, which gives up his position, but they can convert into the B site.
Why did Stream Elements take all your stuff away?
Paranoia. Really important.
I don't even have Stream Elements on this page. Sorry, Tim. That's my bad, man.
Site entry is about to approach. Trex, what a first pick. Can they continue? Spike will be commenced. And
Shados is util.
Oh, they broke it! No spike plant. Now we have to fight this right here, right now. Wolfen for the first one. Cena, Suigetsu, back on it. For 20 seconds, they don't have much time. Kodamenta putting the pressure on them.
Here we
Cena
go back through.
holds on. And Navi equalize once again.
Switching sides.
Koi win the attack, Navi one up them, Koi do it again.
I said I
Navi
can
do
view
it
them,
again.
but it doesn't
Back
let
and
me-
forth, blow for blow. These teams down in the pit just throwing punches at
Why
one
did
another.
they do that?
And it comes after CNED finds Shados, because Shados was quick on the rotation. All his util stopped out this hit. It was perfect, but CNED found that same spawn push that
Let me
Trex
open
had
up
in
Stream
the
Elements
previous
real
round.
quick.
And that just blows up the retake. Too many
Make sure
points
the
of
homie
pressure
ain't
because
banned.
the pit
What
and
happened?
Shot at. You're just down to the bottom of a fishbowl, and there's too many people shooting down at you.
I literally don't have any spam
Early
filters on.
foreplay, believe that went over
My
towards
filters are
Zipan.
off. I'm so
Could mean
confused.
something late in round to be able to find a kill, especially lower numbers. The Seekers mean so much more for pinpointing the enemy location.
Koi need to do it again. Oh, look at how much setup here is for Navi.
Still a paranoia on
Not
defense.
much going for them, but they've let the cross
Oh!
happen. Angel loses
Trex
the
is
fight.
one.
That's crucial, so we get to in the smoke. Doesn't really need to reload a Vandal there. CNED replenished.
There's that Sky value.
He had to get that one there because CNED abandoned the site to the heal, and now CNED.
Oh, then the paranoia?
They don't cover CNED. They don't expect him to be holding this angle once again.
He's back! That was weird, Tim. I don't know what happened.
He's concussed.
I think it's because of the
spray down onto him. It takes
multiple.
a while, but he gets up. Koi, they're on the back foot.
All right, Navi wins his round.
In the ground, one after the other.
I think it was because of the whatchamacallit, but I don't have any like spam filters through Stream Elements, so I'm kind of confused as to why Stream Elements did that. So that's my bad, fam. I do see you that last message in chat, so it means you're not banned.
And CNED, fantastic finding those kills. Again, I think it was so important because he
right.
abandoned the site to go get a Sky Heal.
Can Navi win the back-to-back here, forcing map 3?
One, playing inside the smoke, stalling time. It reduced the amount of time Koi had to work with here. Heavy play for control. CNED almost at risk of falling. What is going on?
Trouble.
Had to have been, but I don't know why because I don't have. Again, I don't have emote like spam protection. Wow. I think we're about to go to map 3, chat.
So darn close to closing it out. They just have to stick the landing.
Taking it into the ice site comfortably. They've spotted out Wolf and they know the location of one now. Spike will be planted and so many. There's double nano swarms to work with too.
No, you're good. You're good. The part of the reason I don't have that turned on because I like people to be able to use emotes and stuff. It's kind of strange to.
The door's open.
So they don't know them. Can you go for the trigger?
Oh no!
Paranoia available. There's a buy time for his teammate. TP behind. Wolfen gets one, but it's not going to be good enough. They need more than that. Stark.
Oh, hold on!
Maybe there's a chance. He runs out of time. Has to get on the spike. Zipan is so low.
He's got the shoot! No way!
No way!
Starkso gets it done.
No freaking way!
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable. Starkso, the full clip, teleporting behind enemy lines. This is a montage reel of Omen Team Bees, teeping straight into the face of danger, whipping out the shorty.
Wow.
I can't believe it.
He keeps his team alive. Koi's chance
of
coming home with a 2-0 against Navi is still there. Hope still strong in his heart.
All right, they need to finish this soon, at least this map, because if I have to go pick up Little Man and this overtime still going on, I'm going to be pissed.
3 time ticking away.
So one of these two teams need to win this map.
And Navi, it is stolen away from them. Navi have to fight again into our 37th round. And there's no time to breathe either. The timeouts have been used up.
No, that's it. On the clock with what you know.
See, that's so weird that does that.
Having the nerves to deal
Watch it
with
just
the
double
situation,
tips.
even when the
timeout. Yeah, it's definitely the emotes. But
Koi have identified
it says Stream Elements does it, but I don't have any. The only thing that my Stream Elements chatbot is supposed to be like protecting against is link sharing. Is where I'm confused.
Which, to be fair, goes back
like literally everything else on my bot through Stream Elements is turned off for spam filters.
Working on all they've got, and Trex just gets a little bit of poke.
Navi actually going to pressure this. Trailblazer, Paranoia.
I wonder if I put in emote protection.
But not for long. CNED's on this case while the rest of his team moves into the B side.
They spent so much on to B. Now it comes down to control of Link.
What I just... Wow.
Unbelievable. Sugetsu Angel, what can you do now? Working down into the pit, absolutely nothing.
And Koi wins theirs.
Shados will take it home. 19 on the board for Koi.
Punching down on Navi again and again and again. This is their chance. When Navi's mental is in the dirt.
Let's see if I turn on
the Sky Flash there and not just find one, but two. Would have had the third, but he had the assistance of his teammate flying on in. At the ready.
All right, so I now put my spam filters on, but maximum amount of emotes is 20. That should fix it, right?
Koi, take this aggressive stance towards this A site. Again, how many times? 1 round away from this first series of VCT EMEA
they're going quick.
in their bag. They're going fast, they're going quick. Starkstrom is the first shot.
It's all over!
Because he retaliates. 2 kills for him.
Navi got swept in their opening set.
Everything on the fast C hit, and look at this. Into spawn trek for the first time ever.
Oh, shut up. Dude, they're not going to expect this.
They're not thinking straight. They're not looking behind.
Oh, he saw it!
Surigatsu! He saves the day. Maybe there's a chance. There's 1 minute. They need to collect themselves.
Yeah, but the spike is still stuck backside on C. It's a numbers disadvantage. There's util thrown into the smoke.
There's a thinking game here. Do you play time? Do you rotate around? Do you make question marks around the map? Try to spread them out a bit.
If you give them any more time, though, Shados is going to have the fault line ready, and then you're carved up here in this choke point. They have to act now. They have to act quickly.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Oh, there it is!
Shados delivers. Navi scratching their head on this one.
GG's, man.
30 seconds
what a game.
to try and figure this one out, but it's a difficult puzzle.
They have to go. The smoke is in their way, though. They have nothing to fight their way back on through with. No cooldowns, absolute zilch.
This victory will hit different, I swear. Stark, so they're ready.
There it is.
Hero of today's show. Koi
wow. Koi with the sweep against Navi.
The Goliaths of Navi.
Let's not forget Navi was Final Four at lock-in. And they just got swept by Koi. Wow. Wow. I told y'all at the beginning of this that do not underrate Koi because they had to play NRG, but I didn't expect this, man.
Going down 3-9 at the
That's crazy, bro.
And requiring 20 round wins
to
secure it in the end. Throwing everything out there. They reached deep for that win, and they gave us one hell of a show.
What a show, man. That was really good.
Did you think that this would be the outcome?
No. Today? I mean, not like this. There's absolutely no way.
If I would have figured Koi beat Navi, I would have figured it would have been close, but it would have been in a sweep. Or it would have been in 3 maps.
This was Series 1. That's nuts. Absolutely nuts. We've got more bangers. Fnatic coming up after this.
That's crazy, man.
Holding on to everything, but now we need to take a moment to look at the Prime Gaming highlights, starting all the way back on Ascent, because, again, I think that Koi showed so many good different looks. The fact that after every timeout they're calling, they had some new read. They knew
that's
exactly
insane,
what they
man.
needed to do to beat out this Navi squad.
All right, Chad.
It was a beauty to watch.
Indeed it was. Now look, this series wasn't.
All right, Chad, I told y'all at the beginning of this we were only going to be watching the first matchup. I wasn't expecting it to take that long, I'm not going to lie. Well, I did say I was expecting to take 3. I was expecting 2 maps to take that long. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get up on out of here, man. I got to go pick up Little Man here in about 20 minutes. And then I do have an interview with the co-CEO of Leave No Witness, a top 5 team out of South America for ALGS. I'm going to try and see if I can get that video up tonight on YouTube. No promises. If it's not up tonight, I'll have it up for sure. More than likely, I shouldn't say for sure. If I can't get it up tonight over on the YouTube page over here, I will more than likely have it up tomorrow. Chat, don't forget tomorrow is a big day as far as watch parties over here on YouTube, as well as on Kick, since we're starting to duo stream over here. We'll be over here for both EMEA games tomorrow. I will have to walk over to pick up Little Man, so I'll just have the game up during that couple minutes because school's right around the corner. But we'll be here for both EMEA games tomorrow, and then we'll be hanging out afterwards for the NA Challengers games. There's actually a good chance, I think, that the NA Challengers games will start while we're in the middle of our second game. So we'll just switch over from the second game, EMEA, to NA Challengers. Unless it's a blowout, then we'll switch over quicker, all right? It's a big, this is, oh, what the hell do they even call it in their schedule? Every region has a super week. That's this week for EMEA, so that means that there are games every day up until the 31st, which is Friday. All right? So we will be over here every day this week, starting at noon. Tomorrow we got Team Heretics versus FUT Esports and Team Liquid versus Team Vitality. Those are our 2 games tomorrow. Both of those should be pretty good. I'm excited. We'll see Navi try and bounce back against Giants, who is playing against... Why does my cameras look like this? I just realized. Oh, I know why. Because Yeah. So, we'll be back here tomorrow. Plenty of stuff going on this week, as you can see up there. 5 days, 2 matchups each day. The only day that I wasn't going to be able to do so was today, because I had already scheduled in my interview. I wanted to make sure to be able to get that done for YouTube and as far as an actual video. All right. If we have anybody in here that's not a part of the Discord, feel free to. That's not how you spell Discord. If y'all are part of the Discord, best place to keep up with your boy outside of streams, whether it's to see when I'm going to be going live as far as for watch parties, or since your boy does shoutcast a lot of titles, also let you know where I'm shoutcasting and when I'm shoutcasting, as well as you just come kick it with the community, you know what I mean? So, appreciate y'all for coming out, man. And until we catch y'all over here for the next one, do me a favor and don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard, all right, y'all? Appreciate you guys. Love y'all. We might be back later tonight for challengers. I just don't want to make any promises, all right? Peace.